Submit to the High Council here on World Class Bullshitters. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight is Mecha Random 42.
Hello.
We're also joined by Midnight's Edge After Dark's the one and only Tom.
Hello.
And also our special guest tonight, Comics Division.
Jamaram.
Oh no, you said it as Buffalo Jeff, which means one thing.
Jamaram!
Yeah, that's how we started off.
So, Comics Division, thank you for joining us tonight. We have a very interesting way to start tonight's show.
I thought it was funny.
Anytime we can bring Buffalo Jeff in the mix, it's a good time for me, especially because it makes so many people uncomfortable.
It's always better when it's a good time for you and a bad time for a bunch of others.
Yeah, like especially Anna.
As the Bloodhound Gang said, a lap dance is so much better when the stripper is crying.
Oh,
I regret
yeah.
playing the Star Wars sequels.
I think so.
That's about the only explanation that makes sense.
So tonight, folks, it is May the 4th, which makes it Star Wars Day by some accounts. So that means we're going to make some special changes for tonight's show. So, folks, do me a favor. If you're watching, look at the top right-hand corner of our screen. Ready? This is how much we're going to put on for tonight's show. 3, 2, 1. There we go. That's our May the 4th special edition change. Yay, praise be to Star Wars. Said many people at many times, but not me anymore because I saw the Bad Batch today. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff today, folks. So before we get into that, I just want to thank everyone who joined me on Saturday. We had a mega stream, and by mega, I mean mega stream. Let's talk about some of the guests who were there. So we had Jesse Milestone of Mindless Entertainment.
Oh my God, I was there.
We had Mecha Random 42. We had Comics Division. We had Tom from Midnight's Edge After Dark and Midnight's Edge. We had Rob from Midnight's Edge. We had Uncle Ethan himself. We had Cecil. We had Anna. We had Mary Mayhem. We had Proper. We had, Culture Casino, who was the fucking MVP of that stream. Like, how many? Did I miss anybody yet?
Kendo Slice.
Miss Kendo Slice and Nick from the podcast. So I think we had, it was an incredible time. We went for almost 8 hours straight, folks.
Damn.
Yeah, dude. It was like a 7-hour and change stream, 7 hour, 50-something minutes, and it was awesome. And so we had run so close to our magnet goal. And let's check out where we are right now. So for those who joined us in celebrating Stealing Solo's close, you noticed that we reached crossed many more magnet thresholds, but we didn't quite get to the top. So, as you can see here, we locked Cecil the Hutt, Mecca, Mahler, Jesse, Tom, Gary, Jeremy, Ethan, almost to me. But nobody cares about my magnet. I'm just a dude in a bathrobe. Cool. Everybody is thirsty for the Anna magnet. I'm very well aware of that. So Anna is the top magnet, and we're really, really close. And in honor of Star Wars Day, May the 4th, we're going to do something extra special. So all we have to do to unlock the Jeff magnet is get what? I can't count right now. 61 more backers, right? That's how math works. So once we cross that threshold, 1,139, right? Or did it go up? Or should I refresh?
61, yeah.
Okay.
No, I thought, yeah.
Oh, 50. Yeah. Sorry, it did go up.
Yeah,
Crap.
I thought we were at.
I thought it went up. Sorry, folks.
Yeah.
I was unrefreshed.
Good morning.
Long story short, folks, we get the 50 backers. What I'm going to do is everyone's going to get the Anna magnet with me, so we're going to get the complete set for everybody. So for the rest of tonight's stream, if you back the comic, you will be grandfathered in. After tonight's show goes off the air, whatever that time is, if you order the book after, what we're just going to do tonight at midnight Pacific time.
You're welcome,
If you order it by then, folks, then you'll get the entire set. So there's so many people that want to
beg and plead and practically give Jeff a hand job to get this done for you.
Yeah, I don't come cheap or easy, but you know what?
Tom had to let me watch.
Yeah,
We were negotiating with the hand job, and I'm like, we're talking about like eye contact or no eye contact, and I'm like, look, let's. It's May the 4th, and I kind of sold it on that. I think
We put on a Princess Leia mask. It was beautiful to behold.
Yeah, it was the best in hairdo though. That's the most graceful, elegant look of Princess Leia.
Glorious.
well, you got to do the buns.
I always found it so weird that Princess Leia at the end of Empire Strikes Back just puts on her A New Hope dress. It's like, do you only have 2 or 3 outfits? It's kind of, I don't know. It was weird. Like all the characters dressed to be action figures. I don't know if that was a conscious effort by the time they got to the second film, but
I think it probably was.
Lucas was in the business of selling plastic. Let's be real.
He was.
Did a great job.
Yep.
You know what? real quick before we start talking about all the new Star Wars stuff, let me just show everyone. I want to talk about Star Wars plastic stuff for a moment, but I wanted to share this real quick. So everyone's like, "Oh, I can't wait to get this." This is why you guys are back in the comic or back in the rush tonight, folks. We know you.
Salacious rubs and tugs.
Hey, it's a party that way. I dig it.
Thank you, Sonny Crockett. That was good.
I'm glad that guy started. By the way, I think he was new to the stream this week. So, Sonny, you were awesome in the chat too, dude. Any Miami Vice reference makes you an MVP of the stream. So you and Culture Casino, there you go, one big. But folks, this is what you want the magnet of, to put this on your fridge. It'll show up. All we need to do is get 50 more backers, and then that's it. Then we close the book on the Stealing Solo artwork, and we start to get this stuff produced. As I said, already in line, everything's lined up with the printer, so we're going to be getting these books over the summer. This is the earliest production window that they have open available, which is cool because this is the same company that produces the Marvel and DC books, and this is the people that produced the Stealing Solo replacement books from last time. So we only work with the best people moving forward. So that is the timetable, and I'll keep you guys updated. And now we have a show to celebrate tonight, folks. So once again, the link is in the description. The link has now been dropped again in the chat, and we will start to countdown. So it is May the 4th, Star Wars Day for some, not for me. Now, I know I sound a little cynical when I say this, but Michael from Retro Blastin' and I are kind of the same mindset that Star Wars Day should be May 25th, but we'll still celebrate May the 4th as well as we can here in the Fandom Menace. Now, Tom, Comics, you guys briefly mentioned about the... what was I going to say? Excuse me. The plastic crap that Lucas was so adept at selling to his audience. I've noticed something out there in the wild. People have really softened on Star Wars merchandise over the last...
Oh, do you think?
I'd say, yeah. I'm just saying, I'm seeing a lot of prominent people out there picking up some vintage stuff, a lot of Mandalorian love, like outside of some of the ladies with their Baby Yoda stuff. And it's interesting how when a company like Disney can produce something people like, they'll go out and support it. So it's weird. Like, I never called for boycotts, never said, oh, don't buy this or don't buy that. I just think people have naturally made up their mind, and Mandalorian stuff is still relevant. Hell, I just got an email yesterday about new Mandalorian stuff, and guess what? It features Cara Dune.
Oh, yeah, really now?
Huh?
Have you guys heard of a company? I think they're called RSVT or RSLVT. They do shirts. Let me get the exact name for the audience in case they want to buy one, because I'm a customer. They put out good stuff. But they have released an image of, they have a Mandalorian shirt coming out, and let me, actually, I'll send this to the chat, and I'll share this. But it's a print, and it features Baby Yoda, a.k.a. Grogu, the Mandalorian, but it conveniently features Cara Dune, and, again, this is something they could have probably stopped in production, possibly, or maybe just didn't give a shit the whole time. I don't know.
I will just say this. I don't know if you saw our video we dropped this morning, but something's going on. Now, do I think that necessarily they've offered her job back at, or gotten a hold of her about renegotiating her contract necessarily? No. But last week the Bear Grylls episode was reinstated. All of a sudden people were talking about finding Cara Dune's in the wild, which had been a rarity for the last few months, of course. A bunch of the canceled pre-orders and all that kind of stuff, or on hold pre-orders and stuff like that, I guess we're getting shipping dates and all this kind of stuff out of nowhere.
That's interesting.
And there was a point, if you guys remember, like the only Cara Dune thing that wasn't canceled or whatever, or like, shipping date pending or whatever on like Amazon and shit, was just the Sideshow, if I remember right. Was it Sideshow or Hot Toy, whatever you call it. The collectible one.
The case from the retro figures.
Well, those were the first thing I noticed that they announced that I'm like, wait a minute, they got Cara Dune in there. That's weird. And then this all kind of snowballed in the last few weeks, and it's kind of rolling and rolling and rolling. And again, like we did in our video, we pointed out in our video today, was like, this is similar to the James Gunn situation where somebody jumped the gun, potentially, obviously, because that one Hollywood Reporter article, made it very clear that the firing of Gina Carano didn't go above Lucasfilm, but went above Favreau. So that pretty much narrows it down to who made this choice. And if you guys remember, James Gunn was shit canned by Alan Horn, and Alan Horn is like what, third, fourth in line of control of Disney. So then what we heard behind the scenes ended up becoming true, and that was that Favreau, talked to Bob Iger, and they worked it all out, and Iger wasn't supposedly too happy about Horn doing it behind his back and all that kind of stuff too, and that went and set the whole Marvel universe into a tizzy.
Yeah,
So,
well, back then when that happened, I knew they're planning on bringing him back. It was only a matter of time before the heat died down. But
it still threw everything off. And that's kind of what and again, this is just, take it with a grain of salt. This is kind of what I heard now is like Favreau kind of came back and said, if you don't bring her back, or at least some way we can work this out, I'm not doing season 3 of Mandalorian. That's what we heard. Now, I don't know how accurate that is, but there was a bunch of rumors last week that just come out about, because we didn't report anything on it, but then all of a sudden other people are talking about, season 3 might be canceled and all this shit.
Is Baby Yoda coming back?
Probably not.
I don't care.
Well, then through the Mandalorian. I mean, they don't get to just, torture this poor woman for the past year. I mean, every time I listen to something she posts on Twitter or something where she's speaking, like she says, yeah, even in hard times. So she took this really hard. Like that hurt her, this whole cancellation stuff. Well, so why are we going to reward Disney just for them bringing her back?
The only way she does come back, and this is just my opinion, the only way she does come back is if it's just for Favreau. And it's just for like a send-off kind of thing, maybe. Or it's like, she has strict rules that nobody from that faction goes anywhere near her. Because she's made it pretty clear she knows certain people that have been targeting her. So, like, that's the other problem you have that was pointed out in our video, too, is even if she does decide to go back, there's still that problem. There's the issue of the people who wanted her gone in the first place.
Thank you to Master M in the chat who backed the book. And Sonny Crockett, who's been promoting our book. Dude, Sonny, I just got a question for you. Did NBC cancel The Vice, or had it reached its natural conclusion? Man, you kind of went to the dark side.
Been a rough 30 years, man. Yeah. That had to have been a rough 30 years for you.
They could, that would be a show I would watch a revival of. Like an old people revival of, bring all the original cast back.
Well, didn't they kind of do like a semi reunion on the one CSI or NCSI, whatever the hell he's on, the guy from...
you mean on
John
Nash
Johnson?
Bridges?
Was it Nash Bridges? Is that the one?
Yeah. Philip Michael Thomas showed up. The last Miami Vice thing with Don Johnson, he actually reprised his role as Sonny Crockett in a Nike commercial with LeBron James.
Okay. All right.
And it was fucking cool because it was maybe 10 years ago, maybe not quite 10 years ago. But my point is Don Johnson still looked cool rocking the suit. And I was like, man.
Joseph Bennett is like, they've reached peak Miami Vice.
Yeah. Night Court's getting a revival, so why not Miami Vice?
Are you serious?
Fuck that noise.
That's actually serious. They're planning on bringing back
Night
Court.
They're gender swapping. It's got Melissa Rauch, who was Bernadette in Big Bang Theory, being the judge now, and she's the daughter of Harry Stone because jobs are inherited now.
Oh,
and she's probably going to be talking down to Dan Fielding the entire time.
It would make more sense that Dan was actually the judge.
See, he's in it. I don't know if he's going to be just like an advisor. Maybe he's the supervisor. Maybe he's her superior. Maybe we don't know. I initially assumed it was like, he's going to be the prosecutor still.
I was going to say, wasn't he the fucking city prosecutor or whatever?
He was in the 80s show, yeah.
Yeah.
But according to whatever article I read, they didn't specify that, but he's going to be there in the series. So at least they're bringing back John Larroquette, but.
Well, it makes no sense why she would, be the judge. I mean, the whole joke was Harry became a judge because he was home and answered the phone. I mean,
he's a fuck up. It's not really, but it's technically almost a spinoff of Cheers. Kind of his character from Cheers. I mean, it's not the same guy, but it's
okay. Yeah, I didn't realize there was any kind of Cheers.
Well, he came in and he was called Harry on Cheers. But he would come in and he would do his because if most of you don't know, when Harry Anderson got started, he was like a comedian / magician.
Magician, yeah.
So he would come in and pull his tricks and Cheers.
I don't think they were related. I think,
and then they kind of started out. They started out Night Court with a similar-ish character where he would do like the magic tricks and some goofy stuff. But then they kind of got away from that.
But it wasn't really associated with Cheers.
No, it wasn't. Maybe the same producers, and that's about it because it was on NBC. But that's kind of where I remember Harry Anderson getting started from. But that was the whole thing, and you got to find somebody who's like him, who has the same kind of She's not it though.
Personality.
Michelle
Well, the other thing too is that with John Larroquette's character, they're not going to be able to get away with the kind of sexist jokes that he would crack all the time, because his whole arc is the fact that the character was a perv and he was always trying to sleep with the defense attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you can't have that now. I mean, that's problematic.
Yeah, it's a horrible thing to do because they're gonna just be disrespectful to these other characters. Like what they should have done, and I was thinking about this when I did my video on it, was that they should have maybe had Marky Post come back and have Melissa Rauch's character be the kid that Marky Post's character Christine had.
Oh yeah.
Or something. I don't remember if she had a daughter or a son though. That's the only thing.
Well, I said she had a son, but
yeah. Or have like the mother-in-law and have her be the mother-in-law. Something. Have some sort of dynamic there. So you have these two female characters kind of having to figure out their relationship. Maybe have her be the new defense attorney and Christine is the judge now because she probably would have moved up and not Dan. And Dan's still there a prosecutor, so you could have him basically.
That would be hilarious.
Who knows what the crap they're doing with this though? Maybe they're going to do something like that. Maybe they'll incorporate it. They
Sadly, you probably
have a pilot ordered. That's all so far.
You probably put more thought into it than they did.
Probably.
If you go posting happy Cara Dune Day on Twitter, you'd be surprised at the number of people who are triggered by that.
Well, actually, we support Gina Carano's trending.
I did earlier. It's pretty funny.
We love Cara Dune's still trending. And We Love Gina Carano was trending, but it disappeared.
Okay, I got a question for you guys. This is fun. With being realistic, though, where does Cara Dune fall for favorite Star Wars characters? Top 20 for you?
Personally?
Yeah, just personally. Not in terms of like grandiose, who you think where they should rank. Just personal choice.
Well, I mean, I know where they're kind of ranking right now among the fans, but personally, oh yeah, she's probably in the top 10.
Yeah, I'd say she's definitely in my top 10.
Well, she's definitely like my second favorite Mandalorian character.
Same.
Yeah. So like, I gotta go through and remember all these characters.
Who's your first favorite Mandalorian character?
Baby.
No. Okay.
Mine's the Mando himself. I do like him.
Mando actually annoys the shit out of me. I like Cara Dune. I like Carl Weathers and her character the most.
Dude, I love Carl Weathers in anything. And dude, the episode he directed, Jesse and I cheered when they rode the swoop bikes off the side of the mountain. We're like, yeah, this is awesome.
Pretty badass.
Yeah,
you rarely get that kind of excitement from Star Wars. I just was curious because like it's May the 4th, folks. We're gonna be asking Star Wars questions. You know what we're gonna have you do today? We're gonna have you play the word game in honor of Star Wars. Jesse, what dirty word should we use for a Star Wars quote replacement? Should it be dick?
Let's see. What genitalia does Ryan Johnson's face remind you most of?
Ballsack?
Ballsack. I like ballsack.
All right, folks. In honor of how fucked up we can be, May the 4th, take your favorite Star Wars quote and replace a word with the word ballsack. So, my ally has a ballsack and a powerful
you stole it.
Well, that's the most obvious one.
I'm a ballsack like my father before me.
Great kid, don't get ballsacky. What does that even mean?
That doesn't mean anything.
That's no moon. That's a ballsack.
You know what's funny though? It's May the 4th. And what did Disney release for in celebration of Star Wars? Really?
A shit sandwich?
Nothing.
Well, we got the Bad Batch that just dropped, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so.
So it is a shit. Well, I watched it. I'm gonna review it right now for the folks out there because our friend Connor Ackerman asked about it. So, folks, is the Bad Batch worth your time? The short answer is yeah, it's pretty good, but it does commit the cardinal sin. Now, it doesn't have to be agenda-based or race or gender or anything like that, but they make that cardinal sin of a non-trained character upping a trained soldier, and then they say, how did you know to do that? I don't know. And then the character goes, don't worry about it, let's just go. And they literally run off camera.
Oh, God.
So it does have moments of that stupidity, but it is a compelling story. So the Bad Batch starts right around, actually, you hear about Bad Batches in the middle of the fight, and they're like, oh, this is happening. And then Order 66 takes place right in front of you. You watch this Jedi get gunned down, and then her Padawan goes to run off, and one of the Bad Batch goes to chase after him, and he doesn't kill him because Order 66 doesn't really affect the Bad Batch clones. So that's kind of the premise of the show. So you're watching the rise of the Empire, the fall of the old Republic, and, well, that Republic, yeah. And then you just watch them go to Kamino, and Grand Moff Tarkin shows up. And would you guys like to guess the ultimate reason why Grand Moff Tarkin's going to abandon clone troopers and go for stormtroopers?
Because the Bad Batch.
Tom, Mecca, would you guys like to guess?
Do they have nachos?
That could be.
The answer's money. Grand Moff Tarkin goes, I can train a soldier for half the cost of a clone. So the Empire's going to die because he just goes, I'd rather get cheaper soldiers. Fucking verbatim is what he says, for half the cost.
Oh, good Lord.
So it's...
I don't like that. That reminds me of Donatello in Secret of the Ooze. Like, there's got to be more to it.
Now, we might find out there's going to be more, but it's a nice continuation of the Clone Wars. It feels, well, I guess it is the Clone Wars continuation, but they revive it well.
Is the case, wouldn't droids just be cheaper in the end?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Because, like, the whole point that they got rid of the droids was that they were inferior to the clone troopers.
Well, no, the droid army. Fuck, it's Palpatine playing both sides, but yeah. Well, the thing is, too, you really couldn't have a republic. Here's the whole thing: you cannot have an empire govern people full of robots when robots were just the fucking enemy. That'd be like if in 1991 or whenever, they're like, oh, we're gonna have a Russian president in America. Like, what the fuck? Like, no one's gonna buy that shit. Especially, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because of the laws. But my point is, like, why would you have a governing body full of the last enemy? People would revolt. Like, the Empire, yes, is this oppressive empire, but they couldn't convince and get enough things done if it was a thing of robots.
I always hated the fact that the stormtroopers were not clones, because that was, to me, growing up, I always thought they were the clones because they were supposed to be like a leftover of the Clone Wars, and maybe that came from Gary Kurtz. I don't necessarily remember, but a lot of good ideas kind of died with him.
I want you to check out a book when you got the time. This is for everybody, but especially you comics. Star Wars: The Untold Story. It's on Audible. You can get a book version of it, but it's just awesome. Star Wars: Secret History. Excuse me. That book tells so much. It's so interesting. You'll learn things about the production of Star Wars you probably didn't know about. But it all comes from interviews and archive stuff, so it's not some writer taking a lot of liberties. It tells you when there's lapse in information, so you can, understand that this could happen or that couldn't happen, but that is very rare in this book. It's a very well-researched
history of Star Wars?
Yeah.
All right, I'll check that out.
It's like, I can't recommend it enough. I think I've brought it up about 10 times on the show. Folks, I'll bring it up in perpetuity.
You have.
Oh, God. I'm sure Chico Stevens. So the ball sack really is strong with the audience tonight. So with the Bad Batch, my biggest complaint stems from the fact that in the story, the Bad Batch need to escape. One of their original guys, his inhibitor chip really didn't work, so he is loyal to Order 66. The Empire realizes that they up the inhibitor chip, thus making him a full-blown enemy. And on Kamino, this is where the show really pissed me off. On Kamino, they took the clone's DNA and they made a female clone.
Oh, go figure.
Yeah, like this little girl clone is the fifth member of the Bad Batch, because one of the Bad Batch members is an injured clone who they put shit in cybernetic enhancements, and he just fights with them, but he was a normal clone. But this girl was the fifth member of the Bad Batch. So this show about a badass military force now has a little kid sidekick. And the part that pissed me off is the main heroes, are trying to escape on this ship. And it's a pretty solid episode. Good action, good pacing. It's like an hour and a half, too. So for a cartoon, it's pretty meaty. I'm sitting there, I'm watching, like, all right, cool. How's the sniper going to get them? He's been hitting off every other shot in this show. Oh, the little girl pops up and shoots him. He goes, oh, and he drops his rifle. Then he goes to shoot her. She shoots him again. She goes, I've never picked up a blaster before. How'd you know to do that, kid? I don't know. It was just lucky, I guess.
Oh,
and then the guy goes, all right, let's not worry about that. And yeah, that's the level of writing. And I know I brought that up a moment ago, but I had to bring it up in context. It's a pretty solid show, but if that's how they're going to treat this character, Omega, the girl clone, I hope she gets sucked out of an airlock quickly, because that kills the flow. It's this fairly tense show. You're on board, blah, blah, blah. Cool. It's not supposed to be Shakespeare, but I at least expect Batman the Animated Series levels of reality in any kid show. That's what we had.
Yeah,
And
Chris Neville kind of brought up, basically she's the key to everything.
Yeah. She's essentially another Mary Sue.
Yep.
There's really nothing to be excited about for her. That being said, if they find a way to write her out, cool. But I don't know if this is a glowing endorsement. I liked what I watched, but I don't think I will watch anymore. If does that sound nice? I'm not trying to be overly nice, but I'm done.
I get it. I mean, I have no interest to begin with, so I'm pretty much done with Star Wars. It's pretty funny because when somebody asked me, it's like, "Are you interested?" If Gina Carano went back to Mandalorian, would you watch it? I was like, "No." And somebody piped in, "So stop being such a baby. You'll watch it." It's like, "No, dude, I'm really done. It's fine. Whatever." You can think that all you want, but I'm really just done with Disney as a whole. So I could give two shits about anything coming out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, be it on Disney Plus or movies or Star Wars at this point. It's like, fuck Disney.
Yeah. The Marvel stuff, I got other problems with them on the publishing front, the movie front. Actually, the movie front, I don't have issues outside of concerns and things I want to talk about. And we'll get into those a little deeper later, folks. But Mecca, would you ever give the Bad Batch a shot? Have you watched the Clone Wars?
I didn't watch the Clone Wars. I wasn't that big of a fan of the prequels, to be perfectly honest. And I know, people keep telling me the Clone Wars is going to kind of make the prequels better, but I don't know if I can get past it. So I saw the trailer for the Bad Batch, and I'm like, it kind of reminds me of an app game. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel. So I don't know if I'd watch it, really.
I hated the prequels, and I loved the Clone Wars series. I didn't watch the final season though, because Disney just kind of ruined it.
Yeah, I didn't watch the final season either. I watched the very first episode at a friend's house. It was good, but again, I couldn't care enough to go, I'm going to sit down and watch this. I would rather watch a rerun of It's Always Sunny or almost anything else than the Clone Wars. And it's not about being pissed at Disney. It's just genuinely being disinterested as a viewer. That's where all of my
that's how I was as well.
Yeah, it's because we're going to get lumped into the box. Well, you have to hate it because your audience. No, we don't.
No.
We can talk about great shit all the time.
I was mad at Star Wars since the prequel, so this isn't anything new. I was hoping Disney would actually revive it, and they just basically smothered it with a pillow. So par for the course, I suppose.
It was embarrassing how they handled a lot of it.
Yeah.
London Fog 66. Anakin, you're breaking my ball sack.
That's great.
Ball sack. Oh god. Could somebody out there
better than to trust a strange ball sack?
Ooh.
Hits away. Negative. It impacted on the ball sack.
We got to get somebody to dub the prequels. Every time they say a noun, you just replace it with a ball sack. It'd be a lot of work, but how amazing would that version of the prequels be?
I think that would be fantastic.
I made a Balzac to help mom.
The way you're saying it, it sounds like it's a man's last name, like John Balzac.
I'll be watching you, John Balzac.
Next week,
Balzac, it gets everywhere.
I thought
my full name is Johnson Balzac.
What? Did your parents hate you?
Yes.
Sorry.
I was conceived in much hate. Some bad makeup sex that went wrong.
Ball sacks are a speciality. Oh,
You've
God.
never faced but one.
Now,
I
also,
hated it when Obi-Wan said that. Sorry, that just bothered me.
Oh, no, you don't have to apologize.
Our speciality. What? You faced one and you barely won. What the fuck, dude?
I mean, to be fair, he was the first one to appear in how long, though?
I guess if he's being facetious, yes. Like, of course, like there's nobody else who's going to deal with this because I'm the only one who's around for the last, 2,000 years who's killed the fucking Sith? Yeah.
I also, in honor of Star Wars Day, I watched the other new Star Wars release, The Force Awakens from its nap. Yeah, what a waste of 5 minutes.
This is actually
That's
a thing.
no ball, Zach.
Yeah.
Did you know The Simpsons is only getting about twice as many viewers as Batwoman?
Really?
Well, yeah, they've been running it into the ground. Matt Groening got woke and started incorporating a bunch of garbage into his show.
Actually has very little to do with the show anymore.
But well, yeah. On top of that, it's been running for 20 years, so it's
30.
30. Holy shit, 30 really?
Yes.
Damn.
1989,
Anyway, it's
and
bound to have
actually-
lost its edge. So
Actually, it's more than 30 years. It's closer to 35.
Ugh.
Like, because
I think
86 is when they were
incorporating-
on the Tracy Ullman show, and then 89 is when the show debuted.
that's right. But I think incorporating the woke stuff is more kind of a desperate plea to get people to watch, more so than it declining because of the wokeness.
I think Matt Groening actually said he was all against the changing of the voices and shit. He said he didn't give a shit. Because I know he's had very little to actually do with the show. I mean, his name's on shit.
Oh, that would explain it then.
I thought they were using the woke stuff as a way to kind of do marketing and stuff because the show's been dropping forever. So the only time anybody pays attention to it is when it does some of this woke
Something
outrage.
really woke.
marketing.
Yeah.
Because the
Go-
famous
Go broke, then get woke.
story of The Simpsons is he created them in 5 minutes because he was supposed to go into the Tracy Ullman show because they were interested in his life in hell. They wanted to do an animated version of that for interstitials. And he's like, oh shit, I don't want to sell my only good character. So he made up The Simpsons on the spot. He's like, I'm not selling that, but I'll sell you this. Because he knew he was going to lose the rights to whatever it was he was going to sell.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, that's where he came up with him in 5 minutes. Named him after his family.
That's interesting.
Yeah, his dad was Homer. His sister was Lisa. His mom was Marge.
Well, that was the best decision he ever made in his entire life. Because
And he named himself a brat, Bart.
He's the most successful American animator ever. Well,
Yep.
next to Walt Disney. Sorry. I
Technically.
keep forgetting Walt Disney actually did,
Yeah.
animate. But yeah, Matt Groening, I read somewhere he's worth like $500 million at some point. So
Well, good for him.
yeah, it's weird too because Seth MacFarlane's a big deal, but I think I read Seth MacFarlane's worth like $100 million. I was like, that's a ton of money. Fuck. And then you like read about Matt Groening, like, oh shit, there's like an even higher level in animation.
Well, The Simpsons is worth so much to the merchandising. Like,
Oh,
the
God.
merchandising is just billion, probably.
Did it make close to $1
merchandising-
billion in its first year? Like in 1990,
like
didn't
that.
The Simpsons make like $900 million? And
It was crazy.
You can't buy that kind of hype anymore. And I think that's what happens with these big properties. They put all this money into them, but then they can't buy the hype anymore. Like Tom, you were there for Batmania back in '89. Have you ever seen anything like that? Since,
Not
like, that
until the
level?
prequels. Maybe they tried making Godzilla like that. They had a few that they tried to hit that hype with, but no, never quite.
What about you, Mecha Comics?
I honestly, I don't remember Batmania, but I do remember when the Phantom Menace came out. I mean, that was like the first time I actually stood in a long ass line to get into a Toys R Us at midnight to buy toys. And I mean, it was a pretty big line. You would be surprised. I mean, there was a lot of hype around, the the prequel trilogy, mainly because you hadn't seen, a Star Wars film since, what was it, like 83, 84?
Well, we're kind of due for it. That's the thing, is like every 10 years we kind of have one of these. Like we had, Star Wars in 77, and then you had Batman in 89, and then in 99 would have been the Phantom Menace. And then 10 years later, we had Avatar almost 2007.
But yeah, I don't think there was that much hype around Avatar, though.
No, but it still made that much. And
I mean, the Avengers. That first
Avengers
one,
also was 2012. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. Roughly
But
about
after
the same time.
Phantom Menace, man, I mean, that was like the
you're
last,
right, Jeff.
last
The
time I
Avengers.
actually, stood in a line to go into a Toys R Us to get, the collectible stuff. I mean,
Oh yeah. Did you know how much that hurt them as a company? Not Toys R Us, but Kenner. I met a guy at a comic convention who was a toy designer for them, and he's like, dude, the shit they were getting rid of to get the prequel stuff ready was ridiculous. They were clearancing stuff out, and it's like at the end of it, they couldn't even get rid of that episode 1 stuff. That was one of the biggest over marketing pushes.
They created so much stuff too. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of toys that they had released. I mean, what like the original run? What maybe had like 8 figures, and I want to say. The movie
What, for the first movie?
Yeah,
Star
for the first
Wars?
movie. Yeah.
Oh, the first 12, yeah.
It was 12. Okay. So I want to say there was probably maybe like between like 30 to 60 figures when they released Phantom Menace. I mean, there's all sorts of like variants of like Darth Maul.
Probably more than that, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I'm being conservative on the number. But yeah, they released a lot of actual figures. And then there was the sheer volume that was released as well. And so, yeah, I mean, it's like they never were really worth anything anyway. I mean, you could still fetch a pretty penny for like a OG Star Wars figure, whereas these things that they sell maybe for $1.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of the low level prequel characters you can get for dirt cheap on eBay, still in the box.
I have a lot of them too. I mean, I probably bought like maybe $150, $200 worth that night.
Darth Maul is the only one who seems to like have any real value to him. Like if you like, I think he's the only one like the OG Darth Maul.
Yeah, I have that Darth Maul too, on the right as well. And I have the Obi-Wan, and and the thing that sucks about it is I forgot to bring it with me because I wanted Ray Park to sign it because I actually really like Ray Park, and he's like one of the nicest dudes. I actually left my my autograph at his booth, and he went chasing after me to give it back to me.
Oh,
yeah, that was. I mean, he didn't have to do that. He could have sent somebody else.
Did he do it all like action movie, like leaping over the table and shit?
No, nothing like that. He's like, hey, he's like, you forgot your autograph. I'm like, oh man, it's like that was. I was kind of touched by that. It's like most people just send their handler to go take care of that shit.
Right. Yeah.
One day I think just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna go back and see how cheap it is to build an entire Phantom Menace collection, just because.
Well, the most expensive part is probably because there's gonna be like 160 fucking figures or some shit.
Yeah.
Well, I know a guy back in Cincinnati who runs Road to the Past Collectibles. Yes, that's a free plug. I really do like that store, but he can't get rid of those things. I bet you I could cut a deal pretty cheap to get some of those.
Right.
Like they're only like $5, like in at the most. That I've ever seen for any of these things. So I don't know why I'm ever going to do this, but I am, because look at the lifeless eyes of that Obi-Wan Kenobi. I need that. I got to give them credit though, for as much as I can shit on the movie and whatever, and I've come around to it again. I respect this toy line because it was an advancement in Star Wars toys.
The first wave were released on May 3rd, 1999 in Toys R Us.
Oh man.
Yep.
So, God, 22 years ago?
And there is...
God, I'm fucking old.
God, I don't even know how many there is here. Holy shit. Here, let me bring this up for you. Jesus. You're going to be collecting a while, dude.
It's my life's hobby.
This is just the main Hasbro line, right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. The 98 Hasbro line.
Oh my God, how many Anakin for?
Yeah, there's just that many different variations of Anakin. Look at all the different fucking. You could have a whole army of fucking droids just in variations.
That's what I'm gonna do. Gotta have a battle droid army of one.
There's only 2 Boss Nasses. That's sad.
Wait, Captain Panaka only gets 1 figure? That's racist.
Only 2. Yeah, Panaka's only got 1.
Yep, I had the Panaka figure too.
Why would Boss Nass need 2 figures? I know it's not trying
Why
to
does he
shit on the
need
character.
1?
Okay, fair. That's how I feel personally. A lot of these. Oh, you know what though? If I'm gonna do like a top 20 Phantom Menace figures, I think Boss Nass has got to be in the collection.
I think these are mixed up. I think these are not just the Kenner line. Oh no, maybe these are all the Kenner line.
Yeah,
3 1/4, yeah, or 3 3/4. Yeah, no shit. Look at how many Darth Mauls there are just in this line. It starts here,
hologram
all the way down here. Wow,
that's too many, Tom.
It is. That's why I said you'll be doing this for a while. Only one Jabba, and he's got that shit in his fucking mouth.
Oh, I hear that Jabba the Hutt.
How many Jar Jars do you need?
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wow, there's a whole line of them. Is that all Jar Jar? Or is that just random? I can't see.
No,
know
those
they-
are all Jar Jars. They start up here though.
George, what
There's
were you thinking?
only 5 Mace Windows.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
It rhymes.
Whoa, is that almost 2 rows of Obi-Wans?
Yep, almost 2 rolls.
That is 2 rows of Obi-Wans because there's one on the third. Yeah,
Yep.
holy shit, there's a lot of Obi-Wans. I
I
actually
think-
would file those.
By the time that all those came out, I basically checked out.
Wow, I'm surprised that Amidala doesn't have more than that. She's got how many different costume changes in the fucking movie?
Yeah, true.
Well, she's a girl, though.
Yeah,
My
I know
God, how many pit droids are there?
enough.
Jesus.
There's
That's
Walmart exclusives.
That's the best part to come from that movie is the pod race. Well, no, the second best. Pod racing seems amazing.
Oh gosh, look at all the
Lightsaber
droids.
is the best.
All the astromechs. I don't even think that's all the colors they had in the movie either. I think there was even more than that. Surprisingly.
I'll give George credit. There was no lack of creativity with episode 1. Not all of it was good.
They had Yaddle figures.
Yep.
Yep.
And they got 3 ugly ass Yodas. Look weird, I do.
The sad part is I don't think I bought any of the episode 2 or 3 figures.
See, now the one I would want the most would be the TC-14, and that one might be worth something because she's actually got the plating on it. They don't do a lot of that anymore. The vacuum plating.
Oh, yeah. I wish they did.
Yeah. That's why I always loved 3PO. Like, he was always one of my favorite characters because I had the gold vacuum plating on him. It just looks so cool.
Yeah, it felt otherworld, like so different compared to like Batman toys were cool, but Batman Gold was just painted gold.
Yeah.
Even in '95 when I got a C-3PO figure, I didn't have anything else like that.
Well, I had like the 12, 14 inch one too, the taller one.
Yeah.
And you
I
just
did.
almost imagine like, the way that feels, like that's probably what it would feel like to just touch 3PO's arm or something, you know what I mean?
I got to
Just that
see
smooth
the
feeling,
real. I got to see the real suit at the Smithsonian. It was fucking cool. I was like, oh, there it is. It was the one from Return of the Jedi. So
Nice.
yeah, it wasn't the original, but it was still screen used.
Yeah,
So-
I listened to what's his face who plays 3PO,
Anthony
Anthony
Daniels.
Anthony Daniels' book on tape, and yeah, he talks a lot about the different versions of the costume and how it worked and all that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Does
It's
he
really
narrate
cool.
the book himself?
Yeah, that's why it's awesome because you got 3PO narrating the book, and what it's really cool is he's really good at doing like impersonations and shit. So like when he does like George Lucas, he'll actually kind of talk like George.
Does he actually tell the story how he was looking down Carrie Fisher's bra when she was wearing the metal bikini?
He might. He talks about a lot of different stuff, but that's also the book where he kind of talks about how he feel like he got the shaft through the sequels. 3PO did.
Yeah. He kind of did.
Yeah, he's like, I was set dressing.
Yeah. It's not
So
wrong.
let me get caught up on some super chats because we have quite a few and don't want to make people wait. Cesario Japan, thank you very much. He says, going to back 9 more trading card sets. # release Thirsty and a Magnet, or at least give us an opportunity to buy the full set separately. I'd buy 5 sets.
You almost
Well,
have to do like
Cesario-
an Anna set, like the Thirsty Anna set.
Yeah. Cesario Japan, you're going to be getting your magnets.
Thirsty
quite
for
soon.
Anna, so I guess.
Thirsty for Anna, yeah.
Hey, here's the thing. She's a partner in this, so she'll get paid for people being thirsty. So
Oh,
There you
maybe
go.
she's all for it. There you go.
pay a working artist. So
So she gets some money to go kidnap Henry Cavill. So
Yeah, she needs to save up.
life's going to imitate art. I mean, she's saving for the legal defense.
And I told her how to get away with it for the longest time. I shouldn't have.
You told her on air, so you're complicit in it.
I know. God damn it.
So what do we need? 39 more, folks. And
I'm
trading
too
cards
smart
do
for my
count.
own good sometimes.
And so for those watching that don't know, this is a comic. Anna did paint this cover. This is an oil painted cover, but the comic is written and drawn by me, and it features the WCBS guys. Here we are. And there's our kidnapped victim. And we remake a movie in our basement. It doesn't really work out too well, or does it? You'll read and find out. So there's the cover drawn by me. That is my
That's
newest
not how
art.
movies work.
Oh, they will this time, bub. And this is what the hubbub is about tonight, folks. The magnets. So I have already contacted and started to get the ball rolling on these magnets productions. So tonight I thought it would be the perfect push. We've unlocked Cecil, Mecca, Mahler, Jesse, Tom, Gary, Jeremy, Ethan. I'm not unlocked yet, and Anna is another 100 backers away. But today is May the 4th. And yeah, Disney Star Wars has broken our hearts. But this is a parody comic in the vein of Star Wars. So, you know what? Let's celebrate May the 4th. And I thought if we can get to the Jeff magnet, then I'll make it a complete set for everyone who's backed the book. And you'll get every magnet, including Anna. So be prepared, folks. You back it, you get it. Be prepared. They're going to be fun. Look cool. Put them on your fridge, and then tweet at us. Let everyone know you got them. That's what the biggest push for the rest of this campaign is. Yes, the rest of this campaign is to let everyone know. Check out the cool Fandom Menace stuff you got. Show some love. So when that arrives in the mail over the summer, hashtag the Fandom Menace on Twitter and let everyone know you got your magnets.
Y'all are just lucky I got a wrist like the pinball wizard.
It's true.
Pinball wizard. He's got such a supple wrist.
Thank you very much, Griffin, for backing it at number 38. And thank you, Miss Ninja Julian, for being an awesome mod, dropping the link. Thank you to all the mods who are spreading the word for WCBS. Now, back to Deadeye, who says, holy shit, this is a big super chat. Thank you, Deadeye. He says, I passed my phlebotomy exam. May the 4th birthday is this month. Doing a Star Wars marathon, excluding 7, 8, and 9. Got my box of coffee. Life is good. Side note, Delta Squad is more badass than the Bad Batch. May the 4th be with you. Deadeye, thank you for your giant, generous super chat. Appreciate it. Congratulations. My friend, who I worked on the old comic book with, Survivor... God, why can't I ever get the name right? Because I keep calling it Challengers of the Unknown. It's the Everlasting Survivor. Anyway, 80s full boss too. So congratulations, you're in good company. But sorry. All I was saying is my friend, his wife or girlfriend, is phlebotomist. So I said you're in good company. But in terms of your Star Wars marathon, I understand excluding 7, 8, 9. Personally, I got Star Wars Episode 3 on, and I wanted something a little different. I was like, the Bad Batch does make me appreciate parts of the prequel era. I can't shit on it completely anymore. And Episode 3 is a good movie. So, you guys like Episode 3 pretty much?
Yeah, it's the best of the prequels.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
I would say it's the best of the prequels, but I can't really say I like it.
Fair. I always wonder, is it really a great movie, or is it the best of something terrible, or were we conditioned by really garbage movies and then this came out? Like, I like that discussion. I actually have that discussion a lot about Ben Affleck as Batman. I think it's a fun discussion.
It's the piece of corn that is in the poo that is the prequels.
Oh, so it's surrounded by shit, but there's a nugget. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff that I like about it, but overall, I mean, my overall conception of Anakin was never this kind of emo whiny kid. I always thought of him as being a badass, and it was basically just a series of unfortunate events that kind of led him down the path of the dark side. Or ultimately, he, should have been more like Han Solo. What would happen if Han Solo got trained as a Jedi? The fact that he never had the temperament for it, he was just a really bad pick, and that's what kind of led to his decline. But that's what I grew up thinking.
I don't like. See, a problem with the prequels is Star Wars came out in this perfect window, and then everyone spent how many years with not knowing? Yeah, and you know what though? I don't think that's necessarily a problem. I can understand if a creator has a different story than what we all want, but the story's excellent. It's just different. We haven't been given excellent stuff in years. Since you could argue Return to the Jedi is excellent, I'd put it in that category. I think it gets shit on a lot unjustly these days. But, if Lucas was telling this different story and it really was amazing, then I'd go, it's not what I thought it would be, but it's cool. There are times where it is cool, and there are a lot of times where it isn't cool. Wizard and Yippee and all this Anakin bullshit in that first movie. Look, I was the prime age. I was 10 years old when that movie came out. I'm supposed to be, Anakin's so cool. Nah, he was a bitch. I wanted to see Obi-Wan Kenobi fight Darth Maul and Qui-Gon and shit, and the pod racing. And I didn't even care if Anakin won. Like, they were just bad instinctual choices every Star Wars film since The Phantom Menace. And that extends all the way through everything we have today.
Yeah, when I left the theater, I left really confused. I was like, do I like this movie? But it's Star Wars. It's supposed to be great. But do I like this movie? And yeah, that was something I wrestled with for a number of years up to the point where the second one came out, and I was just like, yeah, this is just crap. Yeah, well, what can you do?
Yeah.
And I get why people that grew up with it really like it, and I always end up pissing them off because I hate them so much. But
tell me about it.
Yeah, it's like I get it. I mean, I grew up with Star Wars, the original 3 movies as a kid, and they're very near and dear to my heart. And I understand why people don't like those movies. So
look, I explain it to people best I can think of it is like this: Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and The Return of the Jedi are like a band when they're in their prime.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's their best albums they ever did. Then the prequels are like a band when they broke up, got back together, and decide they're going to do like a new album and all this shit. It just sounds like them trying to recapture.
I love the way.
Yeah.
I don't remember who actually said this, but it's like the prequels is like a band when they decide to get off the hookers and crack and decide to be mature adults, right? I mean, and that's what he
kind
tried
of similar
to do.
To what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all the inspiration's gone. They're way too adulty now.
Now we got to be responsible.
Yeah, they've been too responsible for years. They don't understand. They don't have the same shit they had to deal with when they were kids. Yeah, exactly. Like the same experience isn't there. Like they've had way too much more life experience. Sorry about that, Jeff. I just saw that. Dean Cain shared that and it made me laugh. So Will Smith plus Eddie Murphy equals Anthony Mackie thing. Now I can't fucking unsee it.
Well, I had my mic muted. I was saying to you, don't apologize. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, you brought it up for like 2 seconds, but I was going to set it up. And then, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. That's what it was, though. Dean Cain had shared it just a few seconds ago. Actually, I'm like, damn it! Now I can't unsee it. Thanks, Superman.
I hate that people shit on him as Superman. He was a damn fine Superman for what the era we had.
I wasn't shitting on him. I'm just like,
no. I didn't think you were. I'm just saying, like in general. Like I thought you were following him because you like the guy. But I think a lot of people today are going, "Oh, that's just the Superman from the TV show." Like he didn't suck.
No, if I met him, I'd be like, I fucking met Superman, man.
Same. That's what I grew up with. I mean, Christopher Reeve is still, the best in my eyes. But Dean Cain was cool. I believed that shit when I was 5.
Yeah. Not only that, he's a mixed race Superman. Most people don't even realize that.
Yep. Is he half Japanese?
I think so, yeah.
Oh shit! There you go. He looks the part. He looks like Superman.
Yeah, he does.
I never once was like, Dean Cain looks like Superman, but not. I was like, oh shit, it's Superman. Cool. He looks like the real life version of the John Byrne drawing. You got that chin, that jawline, all that stuff. It's it was good casting. Do you think they could have pulled off a Superman film in the 90s with him, or it wouldn't have worked?
Well, with a bigger budget, maybe. I mean, because Terry Hatcher really was like, I mean, between her and Margot Kidder, it's really tough to beat those two as Lois Lane because they really nailed it. So, I mean, yeah, if you gave him a bigger budget and put him up against like Metallo or something like that, or Brainiac, that'd have been sweet.
I was just thinking, do you think Dean Cain had the chops to carry a film? Or do you think you would need to get a really amazing Lex Luthor to carry the film and treat Dean Cain as almost an unknown?
That's probably the weakest part of the series is, I mean, I like the actor they got and what they did with Lex, all right, but that's not the traditional kind of Lex, so I get what you're saying. Like, I mean, that's the tough part. Would it have been successful had they just done a Lois and Clark movie? I don't know. What if they had just like went off the series and made like and extended it into a film universe? I think Dean Cain would have been fine because Superman is one of those things where the actor isn't the character. The character basically kind of wears the actor more than anything. You know what I mean? Instead of the actor stepping into the costume, it's kind of the other way around. I mean, because you can recast these roles over and over, and even Kevin Feige has said it. He's not above these characters being recast, kind of like 007. He's already brought that up.
I think we'll be seeing that soon, and we'll be talking about a lot of Marvel stuff because that Phase 4 release was announcement was a little anemic, but there's a lot of interesting discussions to be had. On the surface, Marvel, everything looks fine and dandy, but take 2 seconds and the facade isn't as clean this time as you'd think. It's not as convincing, but keep watching, folks. We'll cover that in a moment.
A mess, yeah.
It's not us trying to, oh god, they're looking for clicks or some bullshit. No, it's companies don't do this shit if it's super successful. So again, these are just decisions that make no sense for all the information we've been told. But I'd like to thank everyone who has continued to back. We are only 33 away. So, folks,
Nice.
like I said, in honor of May the 4th, if we can just get 33 more backers, and that includes the trading
Tweet it
card.
out there, kids. Come on.
Yeah, it's only $10. You
Get
can
on the
get
Instaticks.
yes, the Instaticks and the Facegrams. And
Yeah.
well, that's a different type of thing. Anyway, you guys can get the Anna Magnet, and I will share the artwork just for a second, one more time, and then it'll go away.
The Anna Magnet sounds like a really cool spaceship in a sci-fi show or something.
Ooh, the Anna Magnet. It's like adamantium, but sciencey. So there you go, folks. 3, 2, 1. Get the magnet.
Do it for all the people with OCD who want the complete set.
Exactly. Yeah.
I want people to have the complete set. I don't want to drag this out and go, come on, guys. No, it's a thing. Like I said, folks, tonight at midnight Pacific time. So 3 a.m. Eastern.
We're close, guys. Get it over that mark. Come on.
Yes, listen to Sonny Crockett. All right, he suffered a lot for the good people of Miami. Maybe he went over the edge a few times. You know, Crockett, I've watched every episode. I know what you've done. But Tubbs, man. Tubbs, he crossed the line with Calderon's daughter. He really compromised the job. Don't even get me started.
Where does the movie fall into all this? I can't remember.
Miami Vice movie?
Yeah, you cracked up there, but
I thought it was like a reboot or something, or
no, not the remake from a couple of years back, but like they actually did a Miami Vice movie in the midst of the height of the series.
Oh,
yeah,
Tom, that was just old episodes put together.
Really?
On videotape. Yeah, the one
dirty
Miami
bastard.
Vice movie, the one they call Miami Vice the movie is just the pilot. It's like a 90-minute pilot. That's what that is. That is the very first episode. They would do that. They did it a couple times. They would package, like, I think the second season they packaged the second season opener is packaged as a movie called just Miami Vice 2, but it's the one where they go to New York. It's like Prodigal Son episode 1 and 2.
See, I always thought they released it in theaters and shit, and I thought that was what the soundtrack was actually from, was the movie itself.
Dude, that show was so popular, the fucking newspapers would do a fucking set list the next day and then the following Monday. I was reading all about Miami Vice. It was like, I understand really technology is. Oh, I know technology's changed, but we'll never see, like, we can't see something be that popular again, which is bizarre.
I know, it is weird.
But, like, trends aren't trends anymore.
Oh, no, it's totally.
They don't last long enough to be trends. That's the problem.
Mm-mm.
Well, not just that. They don't have that. Like, okay, you got to remember, when we were kids, even you, when you were kids still, Jeff, like, you had a situation where 90 million people could watch one television show at once. You can't get that shit no more.
No.
You ain't never going to have that happen again. Like, that many people watched, like, the last episodes of, like, MASH and Cheers and shit. You ain't never, like, the only thing you get close to anymore that gets that kind of audience is, like, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's too much competition for eyeballs these days.
Sorry, I don't know if that's the point you were going to make, Jeff, but yeah.
It's 100% the point I was making, dude. Don't apologize at all.
That's what I thought. No, that's what I thought you were trying to say. But yeah, that's totally, yeah, you're 100% right on that. Like, you can't do that no more. That cultural experience is gone.
And it sucks too, because I know I wasn't alive I was alive for a couple episodes of Miami Vice. I wasn't there. I wasn't part of it. But I am of the age where we can still have had a bunch of stuff. Like, I know you brought it up as a joke earlier, Tom, but like Godzilla 98 was a big event. It was shit.
It was.
But it was a big deal. Like, I remember being a kid going, that's so cool. I want to go to Taco Bell and eat the thing and see.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't there like all these like Taco Bell things that were around it?
They hyped the shit out of that movie.
It was like Independence Day, Godzilla, Armageddon, Wild Wild West. A couple, like, even though that was a shit movie, like these movies knew how to market.
Men in Black was in there too.
Men in Black. Oh yeah. I actually really liked Men in Black. That's the one.
Yeah, you had some good, you had some bad, but like, yeah, no, but they were all the same kind of thing. Market it, get in there your opening weekend. Batman and Robin kind of kicked a lot of that. Like, Batman and Robin had a much different kind of campaign than the other films. It felt like to me, like it felt like it was much bigger. Maybe Batman Forever that started with. Between that and just like how big it felt, like it treated it so much differently than the first two Batman movies.
Well, you had the McDonald's money.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it just felt so corporate in comparison. Like, because Batman came out of nowhere. Like, it just felt like we created that, like the fans. Because, like, I don't even think Warner Brothers knew that it was going to be that big. Because I mean, they were like, oh yeah, we got this Batman thing. But then I think when they kind of realized, oh shit, we got something big here, was when people were actually paying to go to the theater just to see the fucking trailer.
Yeah.
And they'd leave after the trailer was done. So theaters were starting to promise they would play the Batman trailer after the movie just to get people to stay.
That's hilarious.
They did the same thing with the Phantom Menace a couple of years, 10 years later. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the only time I could kind of remember that kind of a hype behind something like that. But yeah, the first Batman was very fan created, it felt like to me. And then you had Batman Returns with the whole McDonald's thing, sort of, but like Forever felt different. And then you had that kind of every summer that was like the big movie. Flintstones did that too, and so did Jurassic Park.
Flintstones sucked. Oh my god!
I liked the movie, but they were everywhere with that. Like, it was shoved. Like, they even remodeled a bunch of McDonald's to make them Rock Donalds. I remember.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that.
And the food was still the same shitty.
Well, it was. They used that as their promotion for the McRib, if I remember right. And didn't they even have like a big sized McRib or something like that, like a Fred Flintstone sized one to make fun of the whole big side of ribs he has on.
Yeah, I think they
so.
Yeah.
They can bring that back anytime, by the way. It may be crappy, but it is the McRib.
Well, it's all
much
gimmick.
like the
They do it
Szechuan
on
sauce.
purpose. You know how that really happened, right?
What,
the
the
first
McRib?
time was the first time was the only time it ever went out of circulation on purpose. It wasn't on purpose. I mean, it was because they had a shortage of pork, and the price of pork skyrocketed. So that's when McDonald's, the first time they ever pulled it from their menu, and people went insane. So when it came back, they had never had a point since then where it's been a problem, but they had such a huge like resurgence of it when it came back that they just create that every few years on purpose. So they don't have to do it. It's technically always there too. It's just on the secret menu. And it's just whether or not your local McDonald's decides they want to carry it or not.
What I'm going to do on my road trip across the country this summer is just stop in random McDonald's. You guys got the McRib back? Didn't have to.
You can see they might have it. They may like, oh, it's not on the menu, but yeah, we got it. Very rarely. It just depends on, if it sells well in a certain area. I'm sure like a lot of Southern McDonald's still have it all the time.
The best McDonald's experience I ever had was down in Arkansas with Dion on our way to New Orleans. I don't know why, but it was just like the nicest, cleanest, friendliest McDonald's. So Southern fast food gets a thumbs up from me, just across the board.
Yeah, and actually it was a flop at first. It didn't really sell that well at all.
Oh. Quinn Lewis, I'm with you. Jurassic Park is still getting milked with horrible
Oh,
sequels.
don't get me started on the ice cream
God.
thing, Richie Dupe. I actually went down that rabbit hole, and now I know why their ice cream. They never have ice cream at McDonald's.
Oh, you watched that video too?
Well, I tried to figure it out myself because I got so pissed every time I go to the McDonald's in town here. Their fucking machine was down. And then I happened to stumble across the article that pointed me out to that video that you're probably the same one that you're talking about, I bet.
So what's the deal?
It has to do with the company that furnishes them with the machines. And it's a very long... Actually, this would be a perfect one for your Thursday night show to get into. But like basically it boils down to it's cheaper for them to pay the manufacturers to come in and fix the machines than it is to actually buy machines or allow their customers to be able to do anything about it, because McDonald's doesn't actually pay the repair people. The local McDonald's has to pay it themselves, and they're not allowed to do shit. Like, they can't do any, and once they fuck with their machine, the warranty on it's null and void. And what it boils down to is basically human error. And people are overfilling the hop. So the machine goes to do a cleaning cycle. It can't finish the cleaning cycle. So it goes through a cycle of constantly trying to do it, but it can't finish it because the hopper is overfilled. And so basically, if they figured that part out. But then there's another guy who figured out a system that you can plug into the USB port that would actually help with the problems. But the McDonald's said that they weren't allowing their franchisees to use it. So it's this big, huge, like fucking conspiracy thing that go into this rabbit hole of basically, it's keeping the company afloat that makes the Flurry machines, because they got to come in and maintenance the machines all the time, and they get paid like ungodly amounts of money.
Huh. Just go Sonic if you want ice cream.
Yeah.
Well, what's stupid is most of the other companies use the same machines. It's just McDonald's that has this problem.
Yeah, John, you're right. Those machines are easy to clean. I worked at a Rally's in high school. It's empty the machine, pour water and cleaner into it, put it on the cleaning cycle, drain it again.
Well, and the other thing is they're not allowed to use any other machines but that specific one. Period.
Yeah.
Like at least in other parts of the franchise, you can use different like fryers. You have different choices for other certain things. For some reason, that is the only machine you can use that, and that's for all their ice cream stuff. Everything from ice cream cones to milkshakes to the McFlurries, all that comes out of that machine. So that's why it's like, yeah, they're kind of stuck with it.
Sorry, I had family outside my house.
No, you're fine. It's like American Graffiti,
except with less Richie Cunningham and more LAPD.
Where's our 4K of American Graffiti? I think we're going to get Howard the Duck before we get that.
I have yet to see either film.
Well, I just heard that Howard the Duck just got announced in 4K.
Well, I can list off many things I'm not going to buy in my life, and Howard the Duck in 4K is definitely one of them. Oh my God, I'd rather watch that. I just don't want to watch it.
Oh, come on, man. That movie has duck tits. I mean, you're missing out.
Well, I think Michael was the one that posted that from Retro Blasting.
Yeah. I saw that.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I saw the duck tits thing on a Nostalgia Critic, man. That's gross.
Howard the Duck is not that bad. It just goes off.
As a kid, it was a fun movie.
Well,
probably as an adult, going back and rewatching, I'd be like, this movie's shit.
Well, the problem with it is it's actually not a horrible adaptation of Howard, but it doesn't quite understand Howard. Plus, you can't do Howard the Duck in PG. You just can't. You can get away with PG-13, but you just can't do him in PG. And I mean, I think they're just doing it because I think George Lucas scanned all his films in 4K at the same time. Because we know we were getting Indiana Jones this year too, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in June.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna get that one. I was reading the chat because I got to update the audience because we're closer to the Magnet goal. Wow, we're at 1173, folks. So we're 27 away. I can do
Speaking of the
right.
audience,
Nice.
probably get some super chats in.
Yeah, there's a lot. I wanted to get back to those because it's Star Wars Day. We have a ton to celebrate, and there's just a lot of Marvel stuff to talk about. Phase 4, Captain Marvel can suck ass. Anyway, Cesario Japan. Thank you very much. He says, Troops was the best fan-made Star Wars film. Prove me wrong.
Oh,
also,
God.
anyone know of any good Star Wars?
He's right.
Movies? It's a wonderful one.
Star
Have
Wars.
Have we all seen Troops on the panel?
Yeah, years ago, yeah.
Mecca?
Did you see Pink 5, which was created by the same people?
It's called Troops, Mecca. It's where the the Sandtroopers go to Tatooine. It's like a cops parody.
No. I
Now,
don't think I have.
comics, what was the one you're saying? Pink 5?
Pink 5, yeah. It's about this Valley girl who's a
I remember that
X-Wing
one.
pilot. It's funny as hell.
I'll have to check it out. I've not.
Yeah, Hardware Wars, like Rob said in the chat. That's a good one.
Oh, Hardware Wars is great, man.
You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll
kiss $3. Goodbye. I actually saw that in my local library.
The Wookiee.
Yeah.
The Wookiee monster.
Yeah.
So, just because I had never heard of it, Pink 5, oh God, it sounds cool. It's a Star Wars fan film that made its debut on the internet in 2002, written and directed by Trey Stokes, and features Amy Earhart as Stacy, aka Pink 5, the Valley Girl type, dropped into an X-Wing cockpit during the Battle of Yavin and presents a familiar event and story points from Episode 4 in a very different point of view. It's only 4 minutes long, so
It's funny as hell.
it might be up on, it says it's Amazon Video right here on Wikipedia.
Well, George used to do a contest. I think it was every year or every few years, one of the two, for Star Wars fan films. And they would have a big thing on sci-fi and show them off and everything. Yeah, I think
he was great about supporting the community. I mean, that was the thing that was fantastic because, he didn't crack down on any of the fan films, and you could actually get a fan series going, and George wouldn't care. It wasn't until Disney took over where they're like, nope, no more.
Yeah, he even made like sound effects and stuff available.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, you could buy them. That show Chad Vader talked about the powering down Death Star sound effect and what it cost for that one shot. So it's cool to hear the behind the scenes stuff. Like, I will say Lucas has made bad creative decisions across where everyone does.
Oh yeah,
But damn it, for what the dude brings to the production of film, he's really like one of those unsung heroes. Talk about the digital aspect of the way we operate. Like, George Lucas is a huge part of that. So, like, for all the weird shit, the McClunkies of the world, fuck those. George is always going to end up on the right side of history as just bringing more into the world than he ever destroyed.
Look,
Unlike
I mean,
Disney.
I'm probably one of the in our community that gives George Lucas the most shit. I mean, let's be real. I give him a lot of shit, and I talk
I
a
give him
lot
a
of
lot of
crap
shit
about
too,
him.
but
But
Well,
I
I
mean,
don't even like the prequels.
well, neither do I. But like, that's the thing is, I mean, I've told a lot of stories. I mean, there's how many stories I've told on this show now about George Lucas. I mean, come on. But I mean, I love the guy. I mean, he's done. You cannot deny that. I mean, I'll argue Star Wars is the most influential film of all time.
oh, for
Mhm.
sure,
Tom has not
hands
actually
down.
met George Lucas.
What was
Say that
that?
again.
Oh, it's supposed to be fun. Just Tom has not actually met George Lucas.
No. Well, I've heard he's a cold fish either way. So
I know, it's just funny. You're like, oh, I give him so much shit, but I still love the. I don't know. It's just funny how you're saying it.
honestly, I mean, I've
You know
met
him or
enough
something?
celebrities now. I mean, would I like fanboy out a little bit? Yeah, sure, of course. But after that initial like flare up, like
Tom, maybe you should talk about meeting George Lucas differently than contracting an STD, because it's like, oh, the
then
flare
I
up.
would get over the initial, and then I'd take a pill, and I'd be all better. No,
Yeah.
I would probably ask him some honest questions. You know,
Why did you take a big old steaming dump on my childhood?
I don't think I'd go to that extent.
No, I'm just being a smart ass, really.
Like, why? Why did Anakin build 3PO? Like, no, that would not be the first thing.
Why, George? Why?
My George Lucas question would be really, like, not even interesting to the audience. I just read how he's an artist, like how he used to draw and want to draw comics. I'd be like, have you ever drawn anything under a pen name and put it out there officially? Like, that's the number one question I have for him. Not, why did you do this? I can look it up. I can call Richard
Right.
Chu and ask production questions on Star Wars. That's not a joke. When he calls up Jesse and talks about random shit. Ask him a question. Oh, this is how we did it. It's cool. But that would be the one thing I want to know about George Lucas. Because that, I feel like he's the kind of guy that would have done something like that. Like, oh, I created this part that no one knows about. Like, you know, Spielberg secretly, in quotations, directed a scene from episode 3. Like, stuff like that. I like George Lucas has done something kind of cool. At least I'm hoping he has.
I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, unlike you, Jeff, I would probably ask him or talk to him more about things that are not more well known. Or, I mean, I wouldn't say I'd get real personal, but I would get, you know, like you know, like not ask him about the normal mundane shit that he gets asked all the time about.
I mean, I'd get bored of that. Like, so back to the super chats, though, folks. Our friend Joseph Bienowicz was not next. It was Deadeye again. He says, Cesario Japan. Yeah, it's called You Need Jesus, LOL. Cesario Japan was asking about the Star Wars porn parodies outside of Star Wars as recommended by Tom.
That's the only one I know of, honestly.
I think if you just Google it, we've all seen lots and lots of porn. I've never looked for Star Wars porn. I don't cross Star Wars and sex.
It's on Pornhub.
Oh,
Trust
okay.
me. Well, at
You know
least it was a couple of years ago. I don't know if it's still there since they kind of revamped things there, but yeah.
I wouldn't
out.
suggest necessarily Googling it, but it might be your best way.
Yeah. I mean, adult. Never mind. Anyway, at your own discretion.
I
If
was
you're
rather
the dog,
shocked
that's
actually
all
that
right.
they had Star Wars porn. I thought that was the funniest thing.
Oh, never in a million years.
What's funnier is that there's Star Trek porn, and people have actually cut the porn out of it and put it up, and they actually are better shows than what we get nowadays.
Yeah, Sex Treks is better than Discovery anyway.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I'm like not even being like facetious or anything about it. Like, it's totally true.
So, okay, sorry. So YouTube keeps changing its back behind the scenes processing shit. Sorry, folks. Anyway, back to Joseph Bienowicz, who says, it's Miss Ninja Julian's B-Day on 5/8. Buffalo Jeff, can you sing him happy birthday?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Miss Ninja Julian. Happy birthday to you. Dion Green, I'm coming for you, bitch.
There you go. Happy birthday, Miss Ninja Julian. SH Rebels 08. Thank you very much for your 666 super chat. He says, Buffalo Jeff versus Cecil Tom. Go.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. I am good too.
Got anything
What
to
are you
drink?
two fart?
Yes.
No, that's just my voice going.
I did, but it was a silent one,
It was still deadly.
but deadly.
Zam Valon, thank you very much for your super chat. He says, "Hey Jeff, Anna agreed to take my year 2000 unboxed Millennium Falcon. If you build it for her, LOL. Expect mail in a month. So heart. A Millennium Falcon from the year 2000 is going to appear. Now, is it like a Lego set? Because I have never built a Lego set outside of this one Batcopter and take that back, and a Spider-Man the movie Lego set of the laboratory where Peter got bit and Oscorp. So it's the shittiest Lego sets ever, but I built them. That's it. So if it's like the 95 Millennium Falcon, there's really nothing to build. You just kind of put a couple pieces on. But if it's a Lego set, I guess Anna and I are going to live stream trying to build a Millennium Falcon or some shit. So, all right, Zam Valon, thank you.
I have the special edition one that costs like $800. That thing was
all the Legos.
Yeah, it took me like 3 months to fully build.
Jesus, how many hours? What was the longest stretch of time you put in one sitting?
Well, the only reason why it took me 3 months was because I kept putting it off. But yeah, I started like in November, and I think I finished it in March or something. I don't know. You can definitely spend a lot of time. I mean, it's huge. The thing is freaking huge.
That's what she said.
Yeah. I would say probably I spent a whole day working on it at one time.
Now I gotta shake Cecil off. Hang on.
The Y-wing I have, I think I built that thing on a Sunday. Yeah, it took pretty much the entire day.
TLJ Screwjob says, I literally said to my mom, Star Wars Day is May 25th, which I learned because of a podcast I listened to. I didn't say WCBS, but thanks, Jeff. No, TLJ Screwjob, thank you. The fact that we're getting quoted in the real world always makes me happy, so I get it. You can't say the name to your mom, but she knows deep down everyone's a WCBSer. 200 Watt Studio has a very important question. Where are the white women at? I don't know.
Gasp.
Everywhere. Mine's outside. Doug Keller has a very important question. Tom, you might know the answer, but I definitely have an answer. Where's the lost Miami Vice episode with Axel Foley?
I had no idea there was one.
In my mind, there is. One day, Doug Keller, I will just write a comic. For free, obviously. Well, maybe we'll build the
Miami Cop?
Yeah, what we'll do is maybe I'll get a license because they do them. They have a licensed Miami Vice comic. I'll see how much that costs. Maybe see how much it costs to license Beverly Hills Cop.
Your next book could be Stealing Eddie, where you're basically filming him in Miami Vice.
Now I want to hear
in your basement.
I gotta imagine there's a theme mix out there somewhere of Miami Vice versus Axel F. Gotta be.
God, yeah, it's got to be epic too. It would suck if they could take those two cool songs and make them shitty somehow.
I like what Primer says. Beverly Hills Vice.
God, what a great show. Great movie, too. Let's see. We also have our friend Primer who says, Star Wars Episode 4, a new ball sack. Deadeye says, that's no moon. It's a ball sack.
That's what I said.
Shoom says, he can do that by skipping target practice.
Ouch.
DH 2006 DH says, nice shot, ball sack. 1 in a million. Oh, 007 Cloud has a question. Did you guys see that promo before Phase 4 with Phase 1 through 3 playing right before? Reminds me of film promoter Rise of Skywalker, Star Wars Episodes 1 through 6 being just before. 007 Cloud, astute observation.
The one thing I thought was pretty funny is, did you realize the voiceover for Stan Lee was taken from his anti-Comicsgate video that he made back in 2017?
I did not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Because obviously there's a lot of people who was criticizing Marvel, and they decided to go and wheel out Stan Lee, who probably had no idea what was going on, and he recorded this video. And it's actually a great speech, but Marvel at the time was definitely using him as their shield, and so they end up using audio. All that narration that he does is from that video. It's pretty funny.
I thought hearing Stan Lee was a little on the nose.
Yeah,
in terms of
especially with
emotional
certain
manipulation.
scenes. Yeah. So you think they're desperate?
Oh, God, yeah. So, let me take this off the screen. I will use this as a nice little transition point. Let me pull up these films. So, Mika, Tom, when you saw the Phase 4 announcement, what were your thoughts? Without going into any detail, just did anything on the list, yes or no, pique your interest?
Doctor Strange a little, so yeah. That looks pretty good,
Tom?
I guess.
I'm curious about Doctor Strange and what they'll do with F4, but other than that, I felt like that one super chat kind of explained, like I was watching a Star Wars trailer almost, with the Obi-Wan voiceover and more footage from previous shit than anything new.
That's what I'm thinking, man. This is like emotional manipulation 101. How do we get them hooked? Show them the shit they liked. Why? Because the shit coming up, we don't want to produce anymore. And now Marvel, I don't know why they don't want to use their brand names. It's kind of a dumb reason. Like, I get it. They think, our brand is so popular, anything will stick. No. Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man, and other lesser-known properties were released in the middle of the biggest thing going. Everyone wanted to know what's going on. That's why Captain Marvel made all that money.
Yeah.
Now
absolutely.
the big players are gone. You don't own Spider-Man, so you don't market him a certain way. They don't treat... Here's how this works. Go look at how comic book sales work. Just because Marvel Comics prints a bunch of books doesn't mean every book of theirs is the number one selling comic or the top. They don't own all the spots. There are other things that take their place, meaning some characters are more popular than others. I think they're banking on a series of unpopular characters to try to further their brand and make more multi-billion-dollar pictures.
Well, they think they're going to do that, but honestly, the only movie I'm remotely interested in is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That's really it. I think I'll probably watch
main one, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably watch Thor: Love and Thunder just to lampoon it. But other than that, I mean, there's nothing there that really kind of jumps out at me at all. I mean, Black Widow could have been interesting if they actually, filmed it and released it before she died. I mean, Wakanda Forever. I don't care at this point. Yeah, everything up there. It's just, and I'll probably watch Marvels too, just to lampoon that movie too. But other than that, I mean, there's really nothing that I think is going to be good.
There isn't anything I think that's going to be huge on here. That's the interesting part. That's the part that I find the most interesting. It's because I'm with you guys. I don't think everything on here sounds interesting, and I probably won't see all of these films, which is a rarity for me or a first for me, excuse me. I've seen every MCU film in theaters, mostly opening night, but always opening week. I never waited to see these films.
Same here.
This isn't trying to be the old guy, but Black Widow, I'll go see. I think I'm out of town, so I'll go see it on vacation with some friends. So yeah, Black Widow, I'll see that movie. Cool. I don't give a shit about Shang-Chi. Definitely will not see the Eternals because Spider-Man, of course I'm going to see Spider-Man. Doctor Strange, Thor. Now, Wakanda Forever, I'm going to skip. Because the best part of Black Panther has sadly passed away, Chadwick Boseman. So whatever bullshit movie they're going to try to craft, I don't care.
And I hope they don't do this, but there's the rumors that they're planning on making Shuri Black Panther, which I hope they don't do. I'd rather have them just go and recast Chadwick Boseman. That way, it's actually T'Challa.
Some other rumor going around that Michael B. Jordan might be resurrected from one of the multiverses.
Yeah, I heard
and be
that
the new
too.
Black Panther.
That's retarded.
Again, it's a rumor, grain of salt, but that's the latest one going around.
I mean, if it takes
I'm kind of interested in because I like martial arts films, but I don't know if I'm really going to go out of my way to watch it.
I seen the figures at Walmart.
Pretty underwhelming, huh?
Yeah.
See, that's what we're lined up for. Now, with the exception of Spider-Man, we're really lined up with a lot of B-list players. I get it. Doctor Strange fought Thanos himself. Doctor Strange is not a billion-dollar film franchise. Doctor Strange is a good movie, but he's not Marvel's top. list, Thor is Marvel's A-list as well for the MCU. He's really the old guard here. Because Ant-Man and Wasp, they're mid-level, they're fun. Guardians, they're awesome. Fantastic Four, what's that going to be? There's so many questions here. But before we ask a million
Not
other
the
questions,
Fantastic Four. That's what they're going to be.
Dude, I said it on Midnight's Edge stream yesterday morning. I think the fucking Fantastic Four movie is not a guaranteed hit. I think they're using this as their anchor. If they were having this anchored with the X-Men, this would be a much different phase. But this is a lot of, we're just testing the waters.
I think you're right.
Well, if we go back go back into the 70s, for example, you'll get a lot of characters that Marvel really tried to promote that never really took off. I mean, there was a big push. I get it. There was that big cosmic push with Jim Starlin and his work. But you did have a lot of these weird cosmic characters that they tried to bring in and it didn't really take off. You had a lot of the martials. You had some martial arts characters that worked. You had a lot of these weird B-list Avengers that stuck around and then kind of disappeared. So Marvel does try this with their books, but they've never really tried this with their films.
Well, it's a lot more expensive to do it with a movie than it is like an actual comic book.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, the comic book cost what? Not that much to produce.
No, nowhere near the budget of a fucking movie, yeah.
Well, what else is funny is you mentioned like things in the 70s and stuff of Marvel. When I think of Marvel of the 70s and I think of like a lot of the stuff, and this is before I even knew what Shang-Chi was, but like when I think of like Luke Cage and certain other characters, all they are is ripping off whatever the modern like trend was. You know what I mean? Like to me, a lot of what they were doing was almost kind of like the same thing like Harvey Korman or the nowadays would be the what is it, Asylum or whoever it is that does the like fake movies like Transmorphers and Alien versus Hunter. Like, yeah, Asylum, yeah. Like, because like I was looking up Shang-Chi after all this stuff, and it is another one of those characters where it's basically based off of Bruce Lee.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Like literally, like it's like okay, so that's what that is. It was they're exploiting the whole kung fu craze. All right, yeah. To me,
I can't blame them for doing that. I mean, if it pulls readers in, sure.
Oh, totally. But I mean, that's to me where we're getting to these kind of characters, and it's like the Guardians of the Galaxy are one thing, but like when I think of somebody like Shang-Chi, like Rob, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but he's he was a heavy duty like. Did I say Harvey Korman? I meant Roger Corman. I'm sorry. Thank you, John42, for correcting me. But yeah, like. Rob's in the chat and he'll say the same thing. And he was a heavy duty Marvel reader back in the day. He's like, I don't know what the fuck Shang-Chi is. I've never heard of him before. And he's read tons of shit that a lot of people may have never heard of when it comes to Marvel. So he's just like, and
well, he's definitely not a B-list character either. I mean, he's pretty low on the list. I mean, I've read stuff where he'll make an appearance.
Level, yeah.
I'd probably put him at the Z level.
Z level. Oh man.
Well, I mean, not to be mean. I mean, it's just that.
Iron Fist was always a bigger deal.
Iron Fist was way more popular than Shang-Chi.
Except on TV.
Oh yeah, that TV show is terrible.
Wouldn't you shit if the Shang-Chi movie was a bigger failure than the Iron Fist TV show?
I would laugh.
I don't know if that's possible, but we'll see. Now, the one that we haven't really talked about yet is the Marvels. And I got a video coming out about this in a few days, but I find it interesting that every other movie here features the superheroes' names, except this one. Every superhero movie ever from the MCU features the characters' names, but not this one.
I wonder why.
Most superhero movies in history feature the characters' names. The Dark Knight and Man of Steel. Those are just other names for Batman.
Well, you can't call it Captain Marvel because you basically have, the Monica Rambeau in it, and you have Miss Marvel in it as well. So if you call it Captain Marvel 2, she's basically hogging all the spotlight.
You could call it Captain Marvel and the Marvels.
Yeah, you could, but that'd be
kind of like how Black Panther is really small above Wakanda Forever there.
Yeah.
And he's not even going to be in the motherfucker.
No. Well, the thing that's so funny about it is I think that they are kind of listening to us, and they're going to have Monica Rambeau take over as Captain Marvel. But they're going to be doing it for all the wrong reasons. So I think this is going to be really hilarious. It's going to be a train wreck of a movie, I bet. When is the Miss Marvel show coming out? Before this, right?
Yeah, this movie's what does it say? November 2022. Let's see. The Miss
Yeah.
Marvel show is what?
But as and Gary pointed out today, it's like they didn't rehire the director, they didn't rehire the writers, for making $1 billion and it being such a successful movie. You think that they would get the band back together, but no, they didn't. And being the fact this is going to be a big hint here, folks, the fact that they hired a black female director, and you know how they're really big on making sure that the director looks like the main character, i.e., if it's a female lead, a white female will be your director. So I'm pretty sure that Monica Rambeau is going to be hogging all the spotlight.
I just have never seen a rebranding like this. It's weird. Captain Marvel was $1 billion failure. There we go. We'll talk about that more in the video. But I think Black Panther Wakanda Forever really is a terrible idea. I think it's trying to make Black Panther represent something that it's not. I think they have fallen into their own trap.
The catchphrase and turning it into a movie title. That's dumb.
You know what? I want the next film to be Spider-Man with great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. I mean, even Thor: Love and Thunder is more of an original, than Wakanda Forever.
Dude, Quantum Mania from Ant-Man and the Wasp is more original than that one.
Yeah.
And the Legend of the Ten Rings is a cool subtitle. You couldn't call Guardians anything besides Volume 3.
No, you can't.
It's weird that I live at least in the headspace where Spider-Man doesn't feel like a big deal anymore. Because other characters reach greater heights. And we're kind of in this post-Spider-Man renaissance. Not even renaissance, it's just a post-Spider-Man era on film where he was the biggest star back in the early 2000s. Everything was about Spider-Man. Then everything was about Batman. And now everything's just about the Marvel brand in general. But Iron Man, Captain America were much bigger deals in the last, I'd say, 10 years. It feels so weird that their flagship character, just because they don't have the film rights, they just refuse to put him at the forefront in most things. Like they're so worried about branding with Captain Marvel that they're like, our guaranteed cash cow, That's
it's
not
more
enough.
Sony's doing, but yeah, Disney could also just bite the bullet. Honestly, looking back on it, their better investment would have been just buying Spider-Man instead of Fox. Fuck the X-Men. The X-Men had already run their course way past their due date. To revamp those is going to take a lot more work. They should have just spent the money on buying Spider-Man's rights back.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would have been a better bet. And the unfortunate thing too is Tom Holland he's not the best Spider-Man, unfortunately.
I don't mind him as Spider-Man. I mean, I like Tobey Maguire too, but I think Garfield. So
Tobey Maguire honestly was probably more true to the character.
The 60s version, yes.
Yeah, whereas Andrew Garfield actually did a great job as Spider-Man, but was a wrong pick for Peter Parker. He was terrible as Peter Parker.
I didn't really like any of those aspects.
Both those movies were shit though that he was in. I mean, God, terrible. When I walked out of the theater, I was just like, God, terrible.
Well, the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, and no, I'm not trying to bring up an old wound, but to me, this is where Mortal Kombat suffered from the Amazing Spider-Man franchise syndrome, where it never told you a story. It tried to set up the next story for the big franchise payoff. And like Oscorp tying everything together and trying to rip off the Ultimate timeline. Look, I get it. I read the Ultimate comic books. They were cool. But let's not act like they are the biggest, most impactful things on the character. Yeah, they're more recent. But guess what? Spider-Man, a lot like Batman, is so popular that characters from every era of the character are still relevant today. 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Spider-Man has the best blend possible. But we keep trying to do dumb shit and change it up for no reason.
And what really pissed me off about the Andrew Garfield run was the fact that they totally screwed up the death of Gwen Stacy. That was like your one chance to pull that off, right? Nope. Fucked it in the ass.
They took away the gravity of it. I like that they paid homage to it in the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, the way Mary Jane fell off the bridge. Because the first Spider-Man movie is probably the last superhero movie made under the guise like no sequels guaranteed. I know they'll say, oh, they were going to make all these movies, but listen to the way they talk about the first Spider-Man movie on the commentaries and stuff. That movie made is like there's just a Spider-Man movie, not 10 of them.
My only complaint about the Raimi
Okay.
Spider-Man is that they should have started with Gwen Stacy, and they could have done the death on the bridge like they should have.
Agreed.
Because that would have added a lot of gravity to the end of that movie.
I feel that the Raimi movies are, I really love them, but they all have moments where I'm like, they should have been a little closer to this or could have done that. Like, I am not hung up on organic web shooters versus mechanical. I feel like
neither am I.
Been in the movie, but it doesn't kill it. But I like that they get characterizations right, because new superhero movies treat being a superhero as this luxury. Like Tony Stark, oh man, he's having the time of his life. Everybody wants to be a superhero. Not Spider-Man. And the new movies just make him too happy to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's
like, they
supposed to be a
don't really
burden.
get the essence. Yeah.
Well, it kind of was in certain parts, but you guys got to remember a lot of the issues that we have, that everybody has with the new Spider-Man, stem from Sony saying what they can and cannot do. And then we're starting to learn even more that like Avi Arad put Iron Man more into the movie than he was supposed to be. So, like, again, I know I'm not sticking up for Disney at all, but I know Kevin Feige would probably love to give us a really cool Spider-Man movie, and that's probably half of the inspiration for bringing all these other Spider-Men in, because they were able to rework the deal with Sony. Because initially, that's why they couldn't use the original version of Mary Jane. That's why they couldn't have a Flash that was like the Flash in the old one, and so on and so forth. They had to be basically, not to steal a term from ourselves, but
25% different.
25% different. And I shit you not. And yeah, so like that's kind of where we're at now. But I'm curious.
I think Kevin Feige wants to bring us a Miss Marvel movie. I think that's what his goal is.
Miss Marvel Captain Marvel was never one of the characters he gave two shits about, and Bob Iger even says it in his book. It was Bob Iger was the one who wanted Captain Marvel. It was the whole deal with like, okay, I'll help. We can get Captain Marvel, but I've always wanted to do Black Panther, is what he said. But Ike Perlmutter is the problem, because Ike Perlmutter refused to make any superhero movies that had lead females in them, and he always said that black leads don't sell toys either. Both don't sell toys, is what he kept saying. So that's why he kept those movies down for years. Otherwise, we were supposed to get Black Panther with Wesley Snipes like way back in the early 2000s.
Oh, that would be excellent. Though I'd rather have him.
There was a deal at Lionsgate that Kevin Feige was going to be produced. Like, go back and look at what he's produced. Pretty much every single Marvel. He's been a part of almost every single Marvel movie that's ever been made. Period. Like since the last 20 years, he's been there. He's seen all this shit in behind the scenes. So like you can say what I feel like he's stuck in a place right now where he knows what he's got and what he can do. There was a lot of shit that happened behind the scenes with James Gunn and everything. And, the fighting with Sony and everything like that. And then you got fucking Chadwick Boseman dying on him. The reaction to Captain Marvel. We're clearly seeing a shift here for reasons. Like, they're shifting away from the Captain Marvel bullshit. And they're trying to get us back into, like, we're going to have 3 Spider-Men in the Spider-Man movie, for fuck's sake. And he's even going to be in Doctor Strange.
Well, Captain Marvel's such brand poison, they removed her from the whole title. It's just the Marvels.
I laughed at that just like everybody else.
Yeah, I figured they were going to do that a couple of years ago, once they announced that, they're going to have the writer from WandaVision, and they're going to bring in, Monica Rambeau, and they're going to do all these things.
Don't you just love backdoor pilots to shit you don't want to see?
Yeah.
Shoved into shows you kind of want to see.
Well, and then they removed, they were going to have Doctor Strange in WandaVision.
Yeah, and they removed him.
Yeah, that bothers me quite a bit because it makes no sense.
Well, they also admitted that they're basically doing social messaging for a reason. I mean, they Kevin Feige basically came out and said that.
He did, and I don't like that either. I was kind of pissed about that, but
I've been calling this shit for years, man.
Is it more? My question is he just saying it because he believes that shit, or is he just saying it because he knows he has to?
I think it's trendy. I think it's more trendy than anything. They think it's trendy.
I don't know. I think he believes it.
A tweet about it.
I don't know. I've heard he's kind of a hard ass. Like, I mean, he's a ruthless little asshole sometimes. So I don't know. I don't know if he really gives two shits and a fuck about it. I think he cares more about money and I think he's just playing the games. But I could be wrong. We'll see here the upcoming Marvel films. It's really
Well, I mean, they basically
be
said
the
that
MCU
Eternals
in
is
a
going to be
lot of
woke
ways.
as fuck. So
yeah, but they're embarrassed by it too. That's the other thing. It's like they always say one thing but then do another, you know?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's pretty funny considering we haven't seen jack shit for the Eternals. I mean, finally, we saw some footage in that trailer. But what was that, like
it was an
5
amazing
seconds?
crane. Yeah, it was an amazing crane shot of them standing in front of a fucking wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie looks pretty done, and that's the only shot you're going to show. I don't know if they do a thing where they do it linearly, or they pick specific shots to work on first, so they can have trailer material and then work. Fuck that person, that way. But like, why would you not put your best foot forward with that one?
Eternals has been done for a while.
No, yeah, it has.
That's
been.
the funky part. And I think part of that is because that was all in motion before they bought Fox. But yeah, I saw this earlier tonight too. Miss Marvels were on clearance set.
Well, the other thing too, which I thought was funny, is that they kind of shit the bed on too, was the whole thing with the Inhumans, because initially there was supposed to be an Inhumans movie, and then they canceled it and turned it into that TV show, which was terrible. And the thing that sucked about it is Anson Mount. Honestly, he was like one of the best actors you could cast to play Black Bolt, because the character is mute, and
he was great in it. The rest of the show sucked.
Yeah, I mean, he is so good at acting with just expressions.
Well, did you know he came up with his own fucking sign language for that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he came up with his own sign language because he's like, well, I wouldn't speak normal sign language because I wasn't living on Earth, so he had like his own sign language he created himself, and yeah, it was really kind of cool. Yeah, that was the only cool part about the show. Otherwise, it was garbage. But yeah, all that trailer did was prove that this is real. I mean, we all kind of knew it was, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so flabbergasted by a lot of this. I was going back and looking at some of the old MCU stuff in preparation for the video for this week, and I'm like, I used to get so excited about this stuff, and I always have that crisis of conscience. Is it me or is it the stuff? And part of it is I do feel a nice sense of completion, but I also do feel like Spider-Man didn't feel like too much of a burden to watch right after Endgame. But why did the other stuff feel like a burden? So it might not be the fatigue as much as it just wasn't stuff I liked all in a row.
And which stuff are you referring to directly? Are you talking about like WandaVision and Falcon, or?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the subsequent Marvel stuff that they released.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the concept for WandaVision was interesting, but unfortunately, it's another example of like halfway through it took a nosedive. And for me, Falcon the Winter Soldier had a lot of potential, but I mean, because the action stuff with Anthony Mackie was great. I mean, the stuff he was doing like with the wings and the jetpack and everything, and there was all I wanted that was like a nice action spy thriller, and instead I just got a heaping dose of social justice and globalism.
Yeah.
In other words, it was terrible.
I didn't watch it.
No, well, you're not missing much.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch it.
You get this really preachy speech at the end in the last episode. It was awful.
So, folks, we had just crossed over 1,000 watching. Could we hit that thumbs up button? We only have 500 thumbs up? Yeah, 582 thumbs up. That's pretty weak for all the people watching. Okay, it jumped up to 623. So if you're enjoying the show, hit that thumbs up so we can do another GMPC. I owe you 5. I know this Monday I was on Midnight's Edge. We were trying to move the trading cards, so thank you for having me on, Tom. And we are 24 away from the thirsty fan magnet of Anna. So, folks, I dropped the link in the chat. I will drop it again. Let's make that happen.
Please do. And scan down here a little bit. When does Guardians fucking come out? I know it's 2023, but like that fucker was supposed to be out this summer.
Is it?
It was originally
2023.
What
May
is it?
5th, 2023.
Oh, May. Jesus.
Yeah.
Does anyone care enough?
In 2 years? Yeah. I don't want to get hyped up for a movie from 2 years from now.
Also, folks, I am upgrading my technology over the next couple of days, and I don't mean just internet. I mean a new computer as well. So we'll have much better sound across the board, and we'll be moving soon. So expect no more family and no more Robot Jeff.
I think the best part is if you could actually hardwire it, that might help a lot. Because a lot of it sounds like you're getting interference somewhere between the Wi-Fi or something.
Also, I have issues with this computer. I think the Wi-Fi card's dying in it. Like, it's time to upgrade this just across the board.
Could be.
Yeah, well, the cat sat on it. It gave it an overheating issue. It's just, I've had it for 4 years now. It's just time to move on. So, I want to read a couple more of the super chats, and we're going to move on to our next segment. So, Soul Fiend says, "You scruffy-looking ballsack herder." Who's scruffy-looking?
Your ballsack.
Sir, oh God. I was watching a movie last night, Tom, with Jesse, The Road to El Dorado, and that guy.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. He did a lot of the voices, like, oh, it's Tom.
Yeah,
because your voice reminds me a lot of him.
Jim Cummings, yeah. Because he plays like the king guy, and who else does he play? Or no, who doesn't play the king guy? Who does he play in that? He plays a bunch of the bad guys in the beginning, right? And then he's all over the place in that bastard. That's a good movie, though. Very underrated film.
I like that. It's not Robot Jeff, it's Cyberpunk Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that. That's hilarious.
Somebody else called you Terminator Jeff. Terminator Jeff Fate.
Oh, I love the first two, man. What a great franchise until the third one. And everything else. Shit.
Yeah.
Now, Sir Adrenaline Junkie says, "I backed you guys. First comic book I've bought, so I hope it's good. Nobody wants to lose their virginity to a sloppy mess that took forever to finally arrive. I digress. Jamaram." Well, you know what? You get that button. 3, 2, 1. Jamaram.
Still makes me laugh.
Jamaram.
Ho, ho, ho. We also
the funny thing is that really kind of sums up Star Wars at this point too. Jamaram.
Yeah. Then just afterward, you should add a little bit to that once in a while. Is that a girl or guy? Because that's really that everybody says after you show them that. Or they're like, "Oh, she looks weird," and then they're like, "Oh no, it's a dude."
I thought it was a chick too.
There he is.
How is that
yeah, I don't got it. Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Oh, it's a girl?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I don't know.
It's a dude.
Let's Google Jamaram.
It looks like it's Tito from Rocket Power. That's what it looks like. Or that's who Ram Jam Ram looks like to me. Excuse me. I don't get it. It's better than Slate. Or sorry, better than Geode, but everything is so...
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
you know
according to
what?
Wikipedia, it's a dude.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll trust Wikipedia because they're the only people that care enough to read the High Republic. Tom, I've been making a huge mistake tonight. We've been talking about Captain Marvel, and I haven't pressed this yet.
Hit that bitch.
You got knocked the fuck out, man.
Love that you got the Wilhelm screaming there too.
Yeah, I do. I do too. That's great.
So,
the fuck out.
The Toxic Man Flu of Dick's Division says there has not been good Star Wars since Family Guy.
Remember the time there was good Star Wars? Yeah, it was Family Guy.
It's a track was pretty good. I liked that one. Quite actually. Yeah. Zach Z says, "I feel a great disturbance in the ball sack." You might want to get that checked out, buddy. Just like that guy. Fucking. Anyway, Doug Keller says, "Did you know that Charles Bronson was almost cast as Obi-Wan in Star Wars? Bronson would have given Darth Vader a run for his money."
Damn straight. Seriously, that? Charles Bronson?
Maybe. I believe. God, that would be weird. I don't know if I'd like it. What about you, Mecca?
As long as it's like Death Wish Charles Bronson. I mean, shit, yeah.
It'd stick out too much, maybe. I don't know.
Who's he playing?
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, he wouldn't seem priestly enough.
I felt a great disturbance in force. Civilians people cried out.
Because I shot them. They're
Shot
breaking into my house.
in the face. A bunch of them were black.
Charles Bronson without facial hair. Well, he'd have the little Obi-Wan beard. Maybe? I mean,
Well, of course I know him. He's me.
Alec Guinness was perfect.
I agree completely.
Hold
Because
on,
you wouldn't be getting that Charles Bronson. You would be getting old ass Charles Bronson, and
Yeah, it was roughly Death Wish. That's the same year he made Death Wish, I think.
yeah.
Or no, Death Wish was 74, so it'd have been a couple of years after Death Wish.
Yeah.
And it goes dead silent.
Yeah, because the fucking traffic. Sorry. Like, everybody is racing by today. I think California's opening up. It's
We finally meet face to face again, Vader.
Mm.
I'm going to blow your head clean off.
Mr. V, thank you very much, says, look up Batman 89 fan game demo on YouTube. It's made in Unreal Engine 4. It's fucking amazing. We'll look that up and check that out. I would love a Batman 89 game.
I want to say there was one, but
Well, I meant like a new one. Because, the old one for the NES is legendary. It's hard, but it's also rewarding.
Clint Eastwood as Charles Bronson.
that would be funny.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I have to watch this whole 20-minute video. I would kill to play this Batman video game. It looks 10 times better than Arkham City.
I played the virtual reality at Batman game. I was kind of let down that it wasn't very long.
Thank you, Screen. It was like 20 minutes, right?
It felt like that. It felt like just like an episode of a TV show. Yeah, it was really short. You're just like, there's really not much you get to do.
VR, I don't think we're there yet. I know it's what everybody wants to make the final stage of the ultimate in immersion, but I still like just sitting on the couch, chilling next to a friend, playing Halo or, Gears of War or something.
It's got a little ways to go.
I'm ready, man.
It's pretty good, but it's got a little ways to go. Of course, I haven't tried like Oculus Rift. You're cutting out real shitty again, Jeff.
My computer.
Technology.
Don't you love it?
Oh yeah.
I know, right?
There you are.
Thank you, world, for allowing me to at least tell people that the internet and computer are bad. They don't think I'm an asshole. We pay our internet bill. We do all the right stuff. It's just
I don't know if it's that or
here.
maybe it's something. Is it maybe the sound card?
Either way, it's time for a new computer. So,
because I know people who've had a similar issue. They just unplug and plug their mic back in, and it works fine.
Well,
But
every time it happens with me, my computer's shit in the bed. Like, it's all freezing.
Oh, okay. So you know when it's happening. Okay.
I do know when it's happening because I get that weird silence, and then like you guys sound different to me. You sound like I sound.
Domo arigato, Mr.
Yeah. So Boise Bird says, my P.O. Box delivery to you yesterday doesn't have any forced Mary Sue characters like the new Bad Batch character. Well, Boise Bird, like I told you the other day, I'm really excited by what you sent, and for real, Megalobox is right here. It's on my list of stuff to watch, but it is right here by me. I'm that excited. This one just seems fun to me. So I will let you know, because I have an idea. I want to do a sci-fi story about some kind of a fighting thing. So,
well, somebody was telling me that Kathleen Kennedy's name isn't on the Bad Batch as one of the producers or executive producers.
I was so not happy with the show that I kind of turned it off as soon as the credits rolled. I was like, nope, bye. Yeah, maybe she wasn't.
These days, anything coming out of Disney, I just expect disappointment.
Yeah.
Maybe that was Filoni's gift for sabotaging Mandalorian. Oops, did I say it out loud? I'm sorry.
Womp womp. Oh, wait, I gotta press the Brie Larson button. I'm not allowed to make that sound effect anymore.
Jamaram! Jamaram!
There you go. Asking me shower to see.
Comment!
Guess what, motherfucker?
Mortal Kombat. That's what.
Gotcha.
I'm gay as shit.
By the way, folks, we
I got a
do have Star
warrant for
Wars
my
talk.
arrest in Florida.
He is gay. My God, that was a great intro.
Yes, I bet you have.
Fuck off.
I don't know why I like that one.
Get the fuck out of my house.
Poor Harrison.
McClunky.
McClunky.
Deadeye.
What does that mean?
Why?
Now, our friend Deadeye says, recreation of Hoth, $5,000. Battle of Crate, $2. It's salt.
Yeah.
Salty, are we?
Stephen Kraft, thank you very much. He says, I thought ball sack smelled bad on the outside.
That was good.
Wrap it up, ball sack.
You didn't see us in the South Wing. Or he says, that's no moon, that's a ball sack.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to actually see a ball sack superimposed over Star Wars, but it would be pretty hilarious. Just putting that out there.
Especially if you could get a clip of Luke saying, but there's two of them.
Or if you could really splice it together to fuck with Luke, where he goes, who is that? She's beautiful. Have him splice together. What is that? It's beautiful. People are like, dude, what did you do to Luke? Nothing worse than Disney already did. Adam Wofford says, Comics said how many pit droids. It depends on how many semen are inside of ball sack. It's over, Anakin. We are the orcs. Oh.
Speaking of Mortal Kombat, since I yelled that like 5 minutes ago, did you see I sent you the soundtrack for that? Not the actual pop soundtrack, but the score for the 95
I will have
film.
to download that. I know it sounds stupid, but I'm still feeling the effects of Saturday. Plus, I've been a little sick, so
That sucks.
hey, just a little lack of sleep. That's all. It's not like serious. Like, oh, I'm gonna need weeks out.
Something in your ball, Zach?
I did. I'll tell you off air. I don't want to get
Jesse.
Yeah. Oh, just keep me from the show. Adam Wofford also says, it's over, Ray. No one cares about you. That's just true.
He's got the high ground.
It's kind of mean, but kind of funny. Like, hashtag who cares about Ray? Eh. Did you guys notice how the May the 4th stuff on the internet felt more forced than usual?
Pun intended.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A little. I love Tom's comment, which is go forth yourself.
You should copyright that for next year.
Copyright TM. Well, that banner thing that they did that you have for the, I believe you have for the thumbnail as well. There's several variations on that art. Because actually the guy who did the original art got a hold of us about a year ago. Because I had used some art from that I found on Google. And he's like, don't use that. That's not the final art. Please use this. We're like, all right, whatever. So I've got that final art. And then that final art was reworked into this art. Because there's several versions of it. And then they just kind of plumped them all together for this. But the Bad Batch is just kind of laid in there. And so is, what's her face? The bad chick. Ventress.
Asajj Ventress, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, she was not on the original. Neither was the Bad Batch. But, like, there's no Mandalorian whatsoever anywhere on that. And all that kind of stuff. So, it's really kind of odd. But, like, yeah, I don't know if did you see the full-fledged banner of it?
Yeah, I've seen that. That was at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he originally had done the art for, because there's some variations on it. Mm-hmm. But like when I saw that, I'm like, I know that art, and because I have the other versions of it.
I thought we were cool because at Celebration they fucked up before they were supposed to pull the thing down. I got a quick picture of it, so I tweeted out like, "This is episode 9," and I was like, "It looks so." But I just picked that because I typed in May the 4th. And I picked the biggest image that they had on Google that was first available. But that May the 4th be with you, that's a KRCmpanion. He had posted that on Facebook. I was like, so I gave him credit in the chat.
That's a good one.
Description as well. But that's my feeling this year. I wanted to give it a shot because I always talk about that 6-month window post The Force Awakens where I'm like, Star Wars sucks. And then 2020 just kind of blew and killed my love for most things. And I haven't sat down to watch Star Wars in many months, which is rare for me. But a listener sent me a Boba Fett figure, and I was like, all right, I kind of got that feeling back. Let's see what May the 4th brings. I even get through episode 3. I turned that off. Like, it's hard this year. I even tried to download some of the old games. I was playing episode 1 Racer, which is always a good time. I played Jedi Starfighter, which blows. I got all these great ones that I'm going to stream on Twitch soon. I can't capture the bug this year, man. I want to. I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, everything blows, but it kind of does right now.
Well, you're not wrong. That's kind of the problem, though. I mean, it'd be one thing if there was a lot of really good stuff out there and you're like, everything blows, but literally everything does blow.
Yeah.
I was thinking about watching the first Star Wars tonight, but maybe I'll just watch Speed in 4K.
You should. I would prefer to watch Speed.
Disney put that out at least today.
Oh. I'm going to go to Best Buy to probably buy a computer. Well, no. Let's see if I can get a better deal online. But if I do end up picking it up from there, I'm just going to... I always peruse the movie section. So,
and then tomorrow we got Revenge of the Fifth.
Oh, I just do Cinco de Mayo. I'm going to eat Mexican food. And
speaking of Cinco de Mayo and Mexican food, if I can take a moment to plug our new channel, Midnight's Edge Espanol. So for those out there who are Spanish-speaking in the community, you may enjoy our new channel, which will have some classic and new news on both channels with just translations, but there also will be exclusive content as well. So if you allow me to take a moment just to plug that thank you.
Yeah, man. I was with you on the stream yesterday. Paulie's a great dude. Mexican Iron Man's a great dude. And the guest, Alejandro, was it Montoya Marin? Was the guest? Those were all cool dudes. So
yeah. If you haven't had a chance to see Monday yet, I really do recommend it, dude. It is a good little short film.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it. Trust me.
It's cool.
I bought his book, outright on the air. I was like, oh
that's right. Yeah.
Now we mentioned, Tom, briefly the Star Wars fan art kerfuffle from last week, and now apparently there's another one. Would you guys like to hear?
I heard about this. Yeah.
For some reason, they keep liking to fuck around with Finn.
Gotta keep a black man down.
Pretty much. It's not like a once and it's over thing. It's continual. It's habitual. They're habitual Finn offenders. Like, they don't like the guy. And that's okay if you... I don't know. I don't really like the character, but why are you going to cut him out of this shit? So let's look into this, shall we? So, where is the tab? Voila. Star Wars fans accuse Disney and Lucasfilm of removing Finn from new The Force Awakens poster. Star Wars fans are accusing Disney and Lucasfilm and the official Star Wars Twitter account of removing John Boyega's Finn from a newly released Star Wars The Force Awakens poster. The official Star Wars Twitter account recently revealed a number of new poster commissioned for the various Star Wars properties, including The Force Awakens. They wrote, to celebrate May the 4th, Lucasfilm and Disney Plus commissioned artists from around the world to create unique illustrations that represent the Star Wars film's original series. Check them out now on Disney Plus. Accompanying this message is a poster by artist Leaky Fong, The Force Awakens. However, when you actually visit the official Star Wars website, you get a very different poster from Fong that includes Finn, the Millennium Falcon, and a number of First Order TIE fighters. Fong also comments saying, like so many other Star Wars, they have been extremely influential in my life. It taught me to reach into the deepest depths of my imagination, to explore and embrace the strange, weird, and magical. So, fans took this kind of nothing story because, look, the guy's a digital artist. Just certain layers are missing, certain layers are removed. That's fine. Shit happens. It really isn't like a big crazy thing. But like, people went nuts. Fuck you. Why you cut out? Like, do you think this is a big deal, or do you think this is nothing?
Well, you have to look at the name of the person who's saying that too. The feminist of Naboo. So,
they're crazy. But then you get somebody like ZZ Gator who says the art of Disney Plus of The Force Awakens actually has Finn in it. Why is he not here?
It's a good point, though. I mean, they keep treating Finn like shit.
They do.
And this is after they've already been called out by Boyega. And supposedly even Kathleen Kennedy had a special meeting with John Boyega on how they were supposed to help make Lucasfilm more inclusive and all that kind of crap. and then they go and do this. That's kind of tone deaf, I would say. I mean, especially if the proof is really easy to find, like on your fucking Disney Plus website app thingy, right where the movie's at. Like, that's pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb indeed to me.
Yeah, it's just so bizarre how they keep. Why can't they establish that these are the characters and leave it at that? The fucking dude should have been the Jedi of the story anyway.
I
Well,
agree.
he was meant to be.
Well, it's too little, too late.
Yeah.
In many ways, look, they're never going to remake this. They're not going to reboot Star Wars this way. There's no money in that. But you fucked up, Aaron. You should have had this guy be the lead. Oh, if you wanted Star Wars to be progressive and you had the black lead Jedi, I think that would have checked off just as many boxes or whatever.
A former stormtrooper at that.
Yeah. That's a much better story, but I'm just talking their hollow bullshit diversity checklist. There you go. You get just as many lists to be checked off of. But that shouldn't matter. It should be the compelling story. You want the junker from Tatooine 2.0 or the guy who actually has a story we've never seen before? I'm in the latter category. I like story. I like something unique. But, woe is me. I didn't get that, so I kind of checked out. So, Finn got cut out of the Force Awakens poster in China because racism shit, and that's fucked up. And now he got cut out for... I don't know.
No, what's their excuse this
really
time?
bad.
Exactly. Like I said, it's tone deaf. Like, what's their excuse this time? Sorry, comics.
Nah, it's fine.
Yeah, but you're right. They are tone deaf. It just reads poorly on every front.
I think Disney just doesn't like black people.
I like turtles.
I think
Like
Disney
Michael
likes
Jeebus.
Chinese money more than they like American money, so they're
Yeah,
going to do
I-
racist things to appease China instead of Americans.
I agree. I think you're actually pretty spot on with that.
I don't think they're really as activist happy. Like, I think most of the activism you see online is either bots or people who are sarcastic.
Well, I think a lot of the activist stuff is to basically appease the activist and trying to get them to like the stuff. And the reality is what they really want is that fat fucking Chinese money.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I guess I'm crazy, but I'm just like, I don't care what color the money is, as long as it spends.
Yeah. Well, I think what it comes down to is now a lot of businesses find it to be safe to be woke. It's a trend. It will go away probably, maybe, hopefully in a couple of years.
Big part of it's the media too. Yeah.
Yeah. Unless the indoctrination is complete, at which point then it will never go away.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing is here, I wouldn't have such an issue with a lot of this crap. Is like, look, you know, there's a movie you're making, then and you want to like appease to like a certain country because they're helping you out. That's one thing, but like the way that China does this shit is like scary.
Oh yeah,
and it's very calculated and it's propaganda type shit. It's more than just throwing in some random like, non sequitur shit that just like kind of has something to do with the region, just so them to go, oh, I recognize that, as opposed to like what the kind of shit they're doing here. Like, again, Disney is so beholden to China. It's scary crazy.
The thing that bothers me about it is like, the left likes to complain about the Yahtzees, and China is literally doing Yahtzee shit, and all they do is defend China. Disney should be called out for fucking working with them because they filmed the same province with the Uyghur Muslims and whatnot, and it's just like
they're collaborators. That's what they're like. Disney are collaborators at this point.
Yeah, they literally are Yahtzee collaborators, but with China.
That was the most messed up story like I've read in a long time. It was like, oh yeah, and then they thank him in the fucking credits. And I saw that movie for the Oscar stream with Richard Chu. The movie fucking sucked, man. Like, could they ever make a movie that has all this hype or negativity or something surrounding it and then it actually works? Like, we don't get that. It's all the shit that people like preemptively dump on tends to suck these days. That's why it's, it's so surprising when you get something halfway decent. I know everyone was over the moon about Cobra Kai, which I need to check out still. But you get these little fun things to hold on to. I know. Trying to watch it with Jessie. She's never seen The Karate Kid. We got through the first movie and then life. So
I hear you.
Yep. Well,
I'm
it's
curious
the
to
reason
see-
why I think everybody is over the moon with The Mandalorian, which I find to be an extremely mediocre show. But everyone loved it because it didn't have the the woke in it that the previous movies did. And it's like, come on, just because it doesn't have this stuff doesn't make it good.
Well,
I mean,
it had a
we
few other things to it, and I get where you come from, like the story structure and stuff like that was kind of meh.
Well, I mean,
There's other
I
things,
mean,
but-
when you get to season 2 is where you get the Luke moment. But I'll be honest with you, when I got to that moment, I just didn't care.
I didn't get as like hyped up on it as most people did either, but there was a lot of moments, especially in the first season. I will agree, the first season was better, where there was stuff where I'm like, oh yeah, that feels like Star Wars. Like
No,
I just felt like I was
agree.
watching
I mean,
Star
there's
Wars
stuff I
again.
liked, but it was still mediocre.
No, and you're right. Like, should we actually accept it just because it feels kind of Star Wars?
Exactly. That's my point. Is you have people falling all over themselves, like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing. It's like it's okay. I mean, it's nothing really to write home about, which is sad.
You,
'Cause,
you know,
that's the state of Star Wars.
it is a sad state of Star Wars. I think there's quality in that show, and I think there's a lot of good ideas behind that show. Every episode did not deliver. I'd say 50% of the episodes delivered for me, and 50% of them had. I wasn't angry with any of them. I was left scratching my head many times.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things that bothered me. Is that they went out of their way of making Mando incompetent. I mean, the guy's supposed to be like the seasoned bounty hunter, and he keeps making rookie mistakes. And I mean, that shit really jumped out at me.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of that. I mean, there was a lot of people who were trying to say, "Oh, you guys were bitching about Gina Carano's character when she was in there because you just hate women, and now you're just using her because blah 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 blah." It's like, no.
I defended her in that episode.
I was gonna say no. The only time I really remember anybody bitching was that they just didn't like the fact that she just goes off and uses his gun and
Dents his helmet.
and dents his helmet with her fist or whatever. But I was like, I don't know. I didn't mind that part. It's like I get part of the whole thing, but like the other side of the argument is actually more important to me. Is like, okay, you've presented this metal to be so fucking strong. So how strong is she really?
Did she actually dented? I don't remember the.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did dent it a little bit. I think, if I remember right.
I just think it's still stupid. I mean, I know that people complain about her punching him, and she did have reinforced knuckles on the gloves.
Yeah,
but to punch a person wearing a helmet is kind of dumb. I can see grabbing it because you can manipulate the head that way, and maybe to a degree punching him would ring his gong a little bit. But it's like running up and wailing on a knight wearing armor. It's
you're
like,
going to do more
with your
damage
bare
probably to
hands.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I mean, I remember other people bitching about things within the series itself, but I don't remember anybody ever bitching about her or her character.
No, but that's what they're trying to sell it as.
Exactly.
I bet you complained about, Cara Dune when she was introduced. Like, no, I didn't. I mean, I was a fan of Gina Carano before she was even in The Mandalorian or even in Disney. I mean, I love that movie where she was in
Haywire.
Haywire, thank you. Yeah, that was a great movie.
I had somebody try and complain about all of the people hated card. Like I remember, I'm like, which episode specifically? They're like, oh well, you don't put your stuff in a playlist from this, so how do I know? I'm like, well, then I didn't say it. Prove where I said it. And then he finally goes in and he says, well, an episode this or so and so of Mandalorian season 1. I'm like, oh, the one where I called out the it was a little bit it could be interpreted as possibly SJWE when there's too many women just saving the day from that little village in the episode that Bryce Dallas Howard directed. I think that's what I think they were like really, really banking on trying to get this aha moment from people. And I don't remember anybody having a problem with Gina specifically, except for a little bit of like too many, and all the women save the day because wah, wah, or whatever.
Well, I mean, and if you wanted to go with that kind of Western trope, have it to where all the men are basically dead at that point, and it's literally just a town full of women, and they're the ones that are forced to defend. That would make sense. But for the thing that kind of took me out of it is like, okay, I understand, like, they're supposed to be like frontiersmen, and they probably do know how to use a rifle, but the mom was a little too accurate with that blaster, I thought. And if she was going to be a little too accurate, you have to have a reason behind that.
Oh yeah, that's my big complaint with the Bad Batch this morning, man. Like, they jump to these things. They don't ever show characters being effective or efficient, having these traits already. They just kind of thrust these things upon them, and then they just happen to perform under the pressure. Oh, it's great, they did it. It's a little unrealistic. I know we're watching fantasy.
The issue is, if she looked like a seasoned mercenary, nobody would have questioned it.
Yeah, I mean, nobody questioned the way Gina Carano looks, and she's cast because of the way she looks. That's a good casting choice.
Oh, she's a dropship trooper. That makes sense. I mean, that's all you have to do is to explain it, and she obviously looks the part.
Well, not just looks the part. I heard the part was written specifically for her.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, look at the name, Carano.
Well, didn't she say? I thought she said that in her interview.
Yeah,
that,
she did. Or Favreau has. One of the two has. Yeah.
Yeah, that Jon Favreau's had called her specifically and says, "Hey, do you want to be in this thing?" So I think they were well with it.
She was great as Angel Dust in Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
Definitely a standout for sure. Yeah. And that's how I kind of got to know her, was that bit part. And then it was like, oh, she's been in all these other things. And I knew her as like the MMA fighter kind of, but I remember people talking about her back when Wonder Woman casting was going on. But I didn't know much of her until she became a part of this world. But she's charming. Sure, she's not like fucking some great actress yet, but she's just kind of getting going, this thing with the deal she's got going on with Shapiro, that's her shot as, being a big star, and the spotlight's going to be on her. So here's her chance. And as long as they don't put her in a situation where she's way in over her head,
it makes me wonder if the whole thing, the reason why they're trying to lure her back is to kind of sabotage the Shapiro thing.
Honestly, from what I heard, like we reported in our video earlier, is it had more to do with Favreau finally giving some pushback. And again, even if I were in her shoes, I don't think I would go back unless unless it was for just him and there were certain amenities made, because they treated her with such such a piece of shit and disrespect. It's just there's no way that I think she could go back there with her dignity intact.
And I think a lot of people aren't going to go back because just because you brought Gina Carano back doesn't mean I'm going to be like, oh, you're forgiven, Disney. It's like, fuck off. You realize you made a mistake, apologize, and I'll maybe reconsider, but that's not going to happen.
I don't know. I don't really know. I think a lot of stuff will change back. Because
like we said in our video earlier today, we'll probably never know, because she'll probably say no anyway, even if they did ask her back.
Yeah, hopefully she's smart.
She don't need them.
You think so?
No, she's fine. She doesn't need any of this shit.
No, I know she comes from money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, first of all, she comes from wealth. So, even if she didn't want to do anything for the rest of her life, she's probably fine. Not only that, she had a career before this. She was a fighter.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she did fairly well off that too. And then she's also had an acting career for the last almost decade. They've been lower level, smaller budget films and stuff like that for the most part, outside of the Fast and the Furious and a few other bigger movies she's done, like Deadpool, but she's on the way up. She's actually kind of done what most actors used to do, build themselves into a career. And she's in this place right now where she's popular enough that she could probably build herself up like the next kind of like Schwarzenegger, Stallone kind of action star, but she's also sexy at the same time, so she can play both sides.
Well, the thing I find so funny about it is the reason why she became so popular is because she wasn't shitting on the fans. It's such a small thing too. Just treat your fans with respect and don't call them Yahtzees, and maybe people will like you and will support your stuff. But whatever.
No, and that's the thing and she's popular enough where, like I said, as long as you don't put her in a situation where it goes way beyond her abilities, like put her in a role in kind of like a 007 kind of character where she gets to kick ass and show off her sexiness at the same time and do all that kind of stuff and be charming. Mm-hmm. Perfect something for her as a cop or what have you. There's tons of great stories you can tell. Whether you don't have to do something sci-fi necessarily. You don't have to do something comic book oriented necessarily. And I don't think Shapiro's planning on doing that. And I doubt they're going to put her in some Oscar bait shit either. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be way up her alley. Yeah, like Rob said in the chat, a cop or detective, something like that, I'm sure. Just like your basics. Yeah, just like your basic Sylvester Stallone / Schwarzenegger type movie out of the 80s, I bet, or 90s.
Oh, that'd be great, man! Like an '80s style action film. Oh,
That's right
those
up her alley. And the
days.
guy that got directing it, that's the kind of shit he does. Because he made like Bone Tomahawk,
Bone Tomahawk.
Bone Tomahawk, and shit like that. So like, he makes gritty kind of like 80s, 90s type movies.
Well, I want what's best for her because I didn't
Right.
like how it went down.
Well, that's the thing is a lot of normies got wind of this shit.
Oh
And-
yeah.
And there's a lot of people who had no clue who she was or no clue about the Mandalorian before this show.
Yeah, even my mom asked me, like, who's this woman that they canceled from Star Wars? She doesn't know shit about anything. Like, she calls Nintendo Intendo. And she's asking me about this stuff. And I'm like, how do you know who this is?
That's funny because my grandma used to call the Ninja Turtles the Nintendo Turtles.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think we all Super Smash Brothers candidates missed the 80s and early 90s.
She's like, you and your Nintendo Turtles.
Yeah, she just combined the two coolest things of the late 80s.
She didn't know the difference. She just knew we played it on the Nintendo.
Hmm.
And she knew we'd be outside fucking around with our nunchucks and shit. And she'd be like, you guys are going to hurt each other. Quit fucking you and your Nintendo Turtles.
So, our buddy Doug Keller, thank you very much, Doug. He says, Jeff, what are your thoughts on the Miami Vice movie with Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx? Well, Doug, I think it's a pretty solid movie. A lot of movies that want to, recast iconic characters or it's an adaptation decades later, a lot of those suck. I think Miami Vice is a solid flick, and it benefits from having Michael Mann, the man, no pun intended, responsible for a lot of the show, along with Anthony Yerkovic. But Michael Mann, his creative voice was all over that show, and it's just all over the movie too. It's a modernized version. So I think Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx, actually take that back. I think Colin Farrell does a pretty solid job at a modern day Sonny Crockett. I don't think Jamie Foxx brings enough. I think he takes it too seriously to be a convincing Tubbs. So while I would still say the film is a solid 6.5 out of 10 and a good time, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but I would watch it again. Do you guys have any thoughts on the film?
I didn't see it.
Nelson the Gentleman, thank you very much. Says, love you, Tom, but don't interrupt Jeff and Mecca so much.
Try not to.
Adam Waffle
Jeff's
says,
dealing with that fucking internet shit, though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
to give Tom credit, that is legit my computer.
I'm trying to fill in the gaps. Yeah.
I don't take it personally. I would rather have a solid, smooth show than dead air, so I don't take it personally, man. But Nelson, thank you, though, no matter what. Adam Wofford says, the last time for something like that happened was for Tom. The last time for something like that happened that Tom's referring to, I think, was the Game of Thrones TV series, but the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the Game of Thrones was a pretty big show. Like, what kind of ratings were they pulling down? Of course, HBO never had to tell anybody. But I know they were doing really well. I don't know if they ever gave any idea of the kind of numbers.
That's the thing that really bothers me is the fact that they're not reporting the numbers.
Well, HBO didn't have to because it was pay cable. They have no incentive to.
But still.
Because the whole reason for ratings to begin with is so that the advertisers aren't getting ripped off. So like HBO has no beholdenness to the advertisers, or if that's even, or they're not beholden to the advertisers, I should say.
Yeah, but still, I think they should report the numbers, and we all know the reason why they don't is because they're able to go and obfuscate things and say, "Oh yeah, this show's popular, it's fantastic, people love it," and yeah, like the whole thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Our friend Andrew Casey says, today is actually my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Andrew. He says, I used to love Star Wars Day being the same day. Since The Last Jedi, the love is gone.
Well, happy birthday, Andrew.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, at least you got a badass Terminator icon. And that franchise is in a somewhat better state than Star Wars, though.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay, serious question.
At least.
What geek genre franchise is actually in a good state right now?
Cobra Kai has taken Karate Kid way above and beyond what it ever should have could have been. Beyond that, I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know, man.
Please let us know.
Bill and Ted
something
3
that hasn't been
right.
rebooted yet, I guess, or had a sequel to it or whatnot.
But yeah, like Bill and Ted was like kind of a one-off if you think of it that way. I mean, it's not like the beginning of a new franchise at all. Even Jurassic World, the second Jurassic World, even shit the bed.
Yeah, I don't have the same attachment to those movies that a lot of people in our community do. So I'm really easy on those films. I didn't hate Jurassic World at all. And 2 was dumb, but I liked it more than Jurassic Park 3. So
I don't know if I can even say that, to be honest with you. I was so pissed walking out of Fallen Kingdom. And I mean, I'm not a huge JP fan. I love it. I was a pretty big fan when I was younger, but like, you know, like most people after 3, I'm just like, whatever. You know, like I didn't even see Jurassic World right away. I was just like, yeah, I'll see it eventually. And then I saw it. I'm like, oh, it was good. It was the same movie as the first one, but it was good. It's a nice little reboot. Cool. You know, I kind of seen where they were going with it. But then the second movie, I'm just, why is all this movie in a mansion? And what is this shit with this clone crap? And oh god. But I'm one of those where I hate like the genetic dinosaurs. It's like you got dinosaurs already. I don't need an Indominus Rexamosaurus or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't need a dozen new fucking like just give me regular dinosaurs are good enough.
Andrew Casey, though, again, happy birthday. And yeah, The Last Jedi broke a lot of hearts. Force Awakens for me, man, but I understand the pain. May 25th, give Star Wars another shot. Happy birthday again, buddy. This says, I'm hoping that the rumor isn't true about Seth MacFarlane and Disney coming to blows, putting the fate of Family Guy in serious jeopardy, like shoving it into the vault. Have you guys heard about this?
No, I haven't.
If there's any truth to this, I wonder if it has to do with Orville. And I don't know. I haven't really heard anything. He does have that deal with NBC, but that's not supposed to affect any of his previous deals. And I'm not a personal fan of Family Guy, but I can see where Disney could have an issue with the show. Totally.
Oh yeah, it's too edgy for them. Maybe.
It's so weird to think they might, like, oh, it's too offensive. Let's put it back. No, you shouldn't. Look, I don't like Family Guy anymore, but goddamn, like, don't cover it up. Don't get rid of it because it's offensive now. Because in a couple of years, it won't be offensive, and you guys will use it as marketing. Oh man, Family Guy's back from the vault. Like the Disney Vault system does not. I don't like the Disney Vault system, but more importantly, it should not be used for a non-Disney property. And I get it. Disney owns Family Guy. It ain't Disney property. It's a Seth MacFarlane property. That's his shit. So,
yeah. Well, I heard they even went against their word on certain things they said they weren't going to do. Like, for instance, they said they weren't going to vault Rocky Horror Picture Show, but I've heard that's been a pain in the ass to get a hold of now.
Really?
I haven't been following that one.
Yeah, I guess.
I didn't realize that was Fox. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's Fox. And then people were also having issues last year getting Die Hard for Christmas, I guess.
No, I bought that shit used.
Well, no, I mean like the seeing in theaters, like the because if they
I remember they pulled it. They basically said you
Yeah.
can't because I want to say they did that to Alamo Drafthouse.
Yep, I think that's who it was. Because it was a pretty big deal when it happened. I remember that. So like, they even though they said they weren't going to do that shit, I guess they have. Because there's been like theaters that have been showing Rocky Horror like nonstop since it first began, every weekend at midnight showings and shit. And they were griping about it because they're like, "Oh, Disney promised they weren't going to do this shit, but now they're doing it."
They can't help themselves.
Well, which is weird because you think they would tote Rocky Horror like a motherfucker because it's it's like, look, see,
Yeah. Well, it looks like you can still get the
fucking Rocky Horror
Blu-ray on Amazon, which is good.
Yeah, it's still available, but it's like, but like Rocky Horror, like for some reason they're real bitches about getting a hold of movies for theaters because they have to get them through Disney now instead of going through Fox. Fox used to be real good about getting because they used to do like Alien screenings and shit all the time. And that's another one I think that's been affected by it too.
Well, of course, the alien's now a Disney princess.
Our friend Capslocks3 says, it feels good to remind Disney who keeps their lights on. Yes, it really does. I think major entertainment companies should never lose sight. Because, we just make it out. Somebody buys that shit. You could turn enough people off. So,
That thing you just sent me, Jeff, I want a poster of that so bad.
I do. If you want to share that, I'll put that on screen.
It's really tiny and it looks like shit, but yeah, I'll see if I can find a better version of it too.
Because that's just so cool.
That is hilarious.
Mecca, I think you'll like it too. So let me read some more. Our friend Nelson Chureta says, so Eternals plus Shang-Chi but no X-Men? Makes sense. Sonny, I'm going to go right back to yours in a minute, buddy.
Well, they did say they were going to lead up to the X-Men, so I mean...
But here's a question, Tom. 10 movies in roughly, however many months. Do you think there's going to be an audience there by the time they get to the X-Men? With the main story ending. Yeah. I know this sounds crazy, but here's how I would do it if I had the rights. I'd have ended that, and I had to do the Thanos saga the way it was, that Infinity Stone saga. So that's done. What am I going to do? I'm going to bring in more A-list characters to build the next wave, because I know Marvel likes to think every Marvel character is an A-list character. They're fucking not. Even the Ant-Man. I love Ant-Man, but for God's sakes, he's not an A-list character.
No, he's not.
An A-list actor, but Ant-Man is not an A-list character. There's a reason why Iron Man makes $1 billion, and Captain America and Batman, they make $1 billion.
Well, the funny thing, Iron Man is actually a B-list character, and
until
they just did such a great job with the first Iron Man movie. It's like they made him an A-list character.
Well, this kind of goes back to, I think, and again, I'm not trying to make excuses for Feige or Disney or anything like that, but I think this goes back to what I was saying before, was there was another plan that was going to happen. That got derailed with James Gunn getting fired, and then it got derailed again with them buying X-Men and Fox, I should say, and getting X-Men and Fantastic Four back. And we knew that was going to be a process of getting them back into the mix. And I think that's part of the reason why they're so embarrassed by Eternals, because I think that was supposed to be another one of this is the best picture. This is
oh my God.
You're going to catch me.
Because honestly, what they should have led with if they're doing a Marvel Cinematic Universe, of course we all know they couldn't do this because of rights, was Spider-Man. Spider-Man is their A-list character.
Yeah. Or technically the Fantastic Four, but I get what you're saying, yeah. But I mean, hopefully now Spider-Man, they'll be able to do a little bit more with them, because I heard a little bit more about that. Like I said, they got a better deal. And a lot of that 25% bullshit was Amy Pascal and what's his face? I said his name earlier and I forgot it now. Akkad. Or what the hell's his name? I can't think of his name now. But anyway, that guy. And now that they're kind of like pushed to the side a little bit more, they're able to do more, because they were pretty much setting it up to where basically, we put Spider-Man in the Marvel movies, we make $1 billion, get him up there, and then we spin him off into our own shit where they're technically not connected with Marvel, but nobody really knows better except for the nerds, and who gives a shit about the nerds? You know what I mean? And then they would have just reintroduced Spider-Man into like a multiverse kind of situation, which they're technically doing, but they're not doing it the way they would have originally. Like, because that was the thing, is they only had 3 movie deal with them. And then they didn't say anything for 6 months. Disney didn't hear anything from Sony at all. So it was all messed up. And then you can go see our videos for that info.
Yeah. But I think what they're trying to do is, because they really did kind of build the MCU based off of B-list characters, because
that's a guy I couldn't think of. Sorry.
Okay. But Thor was popular, but he was never as popular as, like, with say Wolverine or the X-Men or Spider-Man. Same thing with Captain America. I mean, they're still good characters, and they are definitely flagship characters, but they're not the flagship characters. I mean, X-Men was always, whenever you think of Marvel in the 80s, when I was growing up, it was X-Men, it was Spider-Man. Now, Avengers, not really brought up.
Hulk's an A-list character, but they can't figure out what to do with him. And plus they have the Universal problem. But yeah, you're right. I never would have considered Iron Man an A-list character.
So Tom, I take it you found the image in good quality, which I love this.
No, that's the only size it is.
Oh, okay.
I just zoomed in on it, but that's the best I could.
Whoever did it, the point across.
Congratulations, you're amazing.
That is fantastic.
Sonny Crockett, this is what I wanted to read. I'm sorry. He says, it's like I always tell Tubbs, the secret to success, whether it's women or money, is knowing when to quit. I ought to know. I'm divorced and broke. Yeah, but you still got Elvis the alligator, so all is well down in Miami.
Yeah. And then the other A-listers I'd throw in there would probably be obviously the X-Men, Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it's weird too how there are only a few true A-list superheroes. Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, a handful. But Marvel has decided to say, hey, hold my beer. We're going to take our D-list and we're going to elevate them. Watch. I think this is a sign of hubris, and I think it's going to go wrong for them.
Probably.
Well, yeah, because not all of them are the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, the thing that they could have done, if they were smart, is they would have started introducing those D-list characters in the previous phases. That way we got to know and like them. So when they got their own solo movies, we would actually care. But they didn't do that.
No. Our buddy Doug Keller says, I can't wait for the new MCU movie, The Toxic Avenger. Well, Doug, you kind of got that back in 2019 with Captain Marvel, if you ask me. She was quite toxic. Xenomorph Skullhunter 79, thank you very much, says, they didn't bring back Brie because they knew she'd be box office poison. Well, that's the thing. She's back. Like, contrary to the rumors and stuff, Brie Larson going to play Captain Marvel. It's that they want to take Captain Marvel out of the title. So.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, they did. It's the Marvels.
And believe me, that was a choice. That wasn't, it's a creative, it sounds cool and cute and coverall. No, it's a fucking choice.
Well, this goes back to all the rumors that we were hearing about how she was going to have to be placed with people more likable. She was going to have to be teamed up with, like they were talking about teaming her up with Spider-Man for a while.
They were.
There. And, that probably could have worked. But then with Spider-Man, now they're bringing in every crapping Spider-Man under the sun, which is cool, sort of. To a point, but I think they're just like, we got to win back the audience somehow. But they still want to go along with this woke stuff, so they're kind of half-assed.
We're going to win them back with Sam Wilson as Captain America.
Fucking speech. Don't get me started. Wilson, the unauthorized biography of Tom Hanks, says, once I made the mistake of looking up Star Wars on a porn site. The first result was Rise of Skywalker. It wasn't parody. Folks, parody is one of my favorite things. Stealing Solo, a Captain's parody. We are, 22 backers away from the Thirsty and Magnet. Folks, 21 now. We can do this on air, because the reason we're pushing this, folks, is, we have this little magnet tier down here, and almost everyone is unlocked. As you can see, we have Cecil, Mecca, Mahler, Jesse, Tom, Gary, Jeremy, Ethan. I'm still locked, but I'm the next one to be unlocked. But everybody wants Anna because she's in the gold bikini and it's Anna, and that's cool. So I decided if we can just get to me, Anna will be included and everyone will get the entire set, because why not? Why would you release Fandom Menace magnets and not have the whole set?
We're so damn close.
We're 21 backers away. Just get a set of trading cards, and you'll also get a full set of magnets. This isn't like, I only backed the book. What do I get? No, this is for the backers. It says it right in the campaign. If you back it, you will get the set. So, folks, we're honoring that until tonight at midnight Pacific time. So 3 a.m. Eastern is when the cutoff time is. So everybody from that time on will receive an order of the magnets, and we will then rescind the offer moving forward starting tomorrow. So this is the way we want to celebrate May the 4th here on the channel. So I'm sorry that you experienced the terrible non-parody Rise of Skywalker, Wilson. I got a video coming out in the next couple of days about the Rise of Skywalker. Surprisingly, there's some more vitriol towards it from people that you never expected to see. I really love that the shill narrative has been flipped, and Star Wars is now fair game, and we have less and less people protect it. So, Master Clockwork, thank you very much, says, an isolationist ethno-nationalist state with no respect for national borders. How about Wakanda never? Yeah, I don't like what they're trying to do with Wakanda. It's not a real place. It's a fictional place. Let's just not, you can't. I hate that people are like, we should aspire to be like Wakanda. No. First off, the shit you like about Wakanda ain't happening. That technology is not going to happen if everyone just acts like Wakanda. can't make that shit appear out of nowhere. Like, I think it's stupid. It's a movie. Let's not act like it's a fucking social event.
Don't you think that they only named the movie Wakanda Forever because that's something that trends on Twitter anyway?
Probably.
That's a great point.
Exactly. We have to put an effort into the PR.
Yeah, I mean,
The PR is built in.
Yeah.
It's like diversity in comics.
Well, not just that. The title almost kind of tells me they're probably going to kill Black Panther in this movie, like in some way, even if it's off screen before the movie starts.
I think that would be a terrible decision because
That would
you would draw up the ire. Like, this movie is already going to be like if Heath Ledger got a signing off moment at the end of The Dark Knight, whatever this movie is going to be that for Chadwick Boseman. Now, he was a great Black Panther and he seemed like a great dude in real life and had nothing to take away from his character. But damn it, do not try to make people cry. Do not make this some kind of guilt bullshit movie. Do not make this the emotional event of the season. That is not fair. That's really stupid and disingenuous. Don't play on the memory of a dead guy. He gave and did all that stuff and wanted to suffer in silence. Don't try to make $1 billion off of his back all of a sudden. Like, that, to me, that is the worst shit. Like, the same company wants to cut a black dude off the poster in China because, I don't know, China, but then they're going to use this guy because, we can make money off of his passing because it's sad. Like, fuck them all. Like, fuck, it's the same people doing it.
On top of that, when they go and sell the movie to China or release in China, they'll have the poster with him wearing the mask. So, because, China's racist.
Yep. But you know what? Hey, let them do their bullshit. We're just going to call them out on it. And guess what? The audiences are seeing that. There's a reason why these movies have declining box office. The Avengers made $1 billion. That's great. We're talking about the Avengers movies. Star Wars, the shit that they have fucked up because of China, declining. It's a fucking declining slope. We could go look at the numbers, but that's boring. Xenomorph Skullhunter 79, thank you very much for both of these super chats. He says, Spidey has had his chance. Give me the Sinister Six film. Xenomorph Skullhunter 79, as opposed to Xenomorph Skullhunter 78 or 80, I am of the mindset, just give me Spider-Man movies about specific events. They don't need to be...
I agree.
Thank you. Like, just give me a Sinister Six movie where Spider-Man, it gives you the context of who the villains are in the first 10 minutes, and then you have a great story of why Spider-Man has to juggle his own Peter Parker life and fight the Sinister Six.
This is my biggest complaint about superhero movies is like, just make a good movie, tell a story. It doesn't have to be something ripped from the comic book. You can adapt your own thing and just, as long as it's true to the character, or I should say characters, because, even the villains are going to be, sometimes get represented correctly and sometimes not. Just make it independent. I don't need a fucking trilogy of stuff. You can make sequels, that's fine, but make it its own independent thing and just skip the world building.
Yeah, because that's the hero's journey is awesome, but the way the characters never leave the public eye. We don't really need to see Spider-Man relearn how to be Spider-Man ever, or Batman.
Again, I know.
In our lifetimes, we should never have to sit through another Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman
origin story.
or Deadpool. Like, they should, after Ryan Reynolds passes up playing Deadpool, which should be a long time from now, get rid of the character. Because this is one of those situations where it's kind of uniquely tied to a guy. But, like, no more origins. There's nothing else to tell. I mean, there's a million other stories to tell. How many different Batman stories have we never seen on film? Because, we got to fucking tell about him and his parents again. It's like, look, Burton skipped it. Nolan perfected it to a degree.
That was smart, actually.
Yeah. Dude, yeah.
Technically, Burton didn't skip it. It's still in the fucking movie.
Yeah, but not in a linear sense like these movies today choose to. It's more of a flashback.
Well, that's still part of the reason why it's been overdone, though.
I agree. BVS sucks, but the way they handled Batman's origin, in quotations, was great. The credits.
That's another one they didn't need it in, though, too. And it's not even really going to pay off, because part of the reason they had him in there is because, the Thomas Wayne Batman in Flashpoint, and that's probably not even going to happen now.
Probably.
And I'm so sick of seeing the Waynes get killed. I'm sorry. I've made this joke a million times, but I swear it's true. The Waynes have been killed on screen more times than fucking Dracula.
Yeah, I think you're right, dude. And yeah, I mean,
and Dracula's probably been killed more times than any other character on screen.
My problem with the stuff is even with the X-Men, we're going to get an origin story, which we don't need. It's just fucking tell an X-Men story.
Yeah, a good one too with your best team. Just, I know it sounds lazy, but just fucking adapt the cartoon. Just flat out. Just take that 92 cartoon, throw that up on screen. You got a $5 billion franchise. Everyone, including me, is going to geek out for it so hard. It could suck, and we're going to go see 3
Not
movies.
just that, just make it a series. I've been saying that for years.
Well, yeah, I was going to get
enough. Yeah,
I was going to get to that too. Is like, in a lot of ways, with a proper budget, I think that superhero stories are best adapted for TV rather than the movies. Because you could tell that linear story.
Now, folks, I'm going to text you in the group chat for something real quick. But we had a super chat I wanted to give our friend Amak Uno a shout out for. Jeff, I just backed Stealing Solo. Well, thank you very much for backing it. Now we're even closer. Let's check out.
Where are you from? What's that denomination? I don't recognize it. That's a cool.
It is.
It's not a euro, so that's not a pound.
No, that is definitely not a pound. It's a P with dashes through it. But yeah, check. I'm going to send you guys a message in the group chat real quick.
Somebody should probably vamp while Jeff's typing.
It's a Filipino peso.
Oh, okay.
Or Philippine peso.
Yeah, you're right.
That's new.
All right, so there you go in the chat, just to tell you what's up. So anyway, back to the audience, because we would like to see what they're saying. Xenomorph Skullhunter 79 says, Mecha Random 42, far from Buffalo Jeff.
Ooh, thank you.
I feel like Mecha Random and Buffalo Jeff would get along. It wouldn't be a problem. 2Tim505, thank you very much, says, did you guys watch The Bad Batch? Yes, I did. I did mention it, a little review at the beginning of the stream, which when this goes into the archive mode, you should definitely check this out. Overall, I thought it was fine, but I didn't like the kid. I'll give you a much more in-depth analysis in the beginning of the show. But 2Tim505, thank you very much. And it's good. It's different. That's what I can say for now. 007 Cloud says, if Bronson was Obi-Wan, the Death Star laser would have come out of whatever gun he shot. It would have been badass, and they probably would have had a handrail. No, it would have been more badass, less handrail. Doug Keller, thank you very much, says, Charles Bronson as Boba Fett would have been perfect. Would have been pretty baller. But Jason Wingreen as Boba Fett, I thought had an amazing voice. It's the Tamara Morrison voice that kind of loses it for me. And with that being said, I don't know what the contracts are, but the way the Bad Batch works with the clones' voices being different slightly, why can't we get another Boba Fett voice that sounds more like the old voice and just come up with some, like, just go back to the old voice and say, clone modulation or some bullshit. Like, fuck it. I don't know. I hate that voice. This is. Thank you very much for the $1 super chat, as well as the $2 super chat that reads, All Hail Exo Squad, free on Peacock. I remember that cartoon.
Exo Squad is a great cartoon.
I remember the toys from the 90s, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I ever watched the series.
The series was actually really good.
And this was more. Yeah, I was 5 years old. I'm gonna go watch this later. We have Peacock. It's free. It's free, Cox. Oh God, that's a terrible catchphrase. Toxic Man Flu of Dick's Division says, Bill Shatner is Obi-Wan. Luke, the Force is with you always. I'm not Bill Shatner.
I'm Buffalo Jeff.
I should have read it as Buffalo Jeff next time.
Luke, the Force is with you. Always.
Xenomorph Skull 179 says, ball sacks in the rain. No F's given. Oh my God. What a great concept. So we also have our friend Xenomorph Skull Hunter. Oh, we read that one. Sorry. J Hando Force has just checked out some gameplay from that Batman 89 Unreal demo you mentioned. How epic would that be if released? I have had it on in the background. I'm not trying to geek out too hard, but it'd be fucking awesome. I have tolerated Batman Arkham Knight, and I've even said it's a good game because it lets me live out my fantasy of playing Michael Keaton Batman with Kevin Conroy's voice. That being said, it's still a pretty solid game and it doesn't suck. I would much rather play a remake of Batman 89 in digital form. A game like that, marketed to the right audience, is good money. You don't need to put $100 million into it. Maybe get this project, put some money behind it or something like that, make it digital, market it to people my age and a little older, the people that were there for Batmania, as well as the new generation. It's Batman. It's still cool and relevant. I mean, fucking Adam West Batman was getting action figures up until his death. So, like, the character
And
any
beyond.
iteration these days.
That's how I started watching it, was the Adam West stuff. They used to play it on USA in the late 80s, I want to say.
Well, that was my Batman as a kid. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't know it as making fun of Batman. I just saw it as Batman.
It was fun. There's nothing wrong.
I mean, as an adult, I can see the camp, but like, yeah, I mean, it's a little different now. But
well, that's the 60s for you, though. The 60s, you know, you could get away with camp. You could get away with fun.
Oh, yeah. Roger H says, gives us a thumbs up super chat sticker. Thank you very much, Roger. NG1T says, hoping for more videos. You are going to get those NG1T. I want to make more. I have an MCU video I've written mostly, and I'm going to put that out this Thursday and then get back into the rotation. I had to make sure that everything with the campaign went smoothly, and I wanted to make sure I had all the stuff lined up for production, aka, or, you know, the printer, the cards, everything, because this is paramount. So, yes, videos are coming back. Not giving up on YouTube anytime soon. I just had to take care of this stuff to make sure everything was done properly. But thank you for your patience. And like I said, I wrote a 5-page Mortal Kombat review. I'll put it out late, but it's fucking written. It's not even done yet. But I put the time in. I'll make it for you guys. You watch it, I'll always make them.
How long does it typically take you to write a script for a video?
Not long. The writing's the easiest part. Okay, so the part for me is writing's easy, recording and editing's easy, but it's when it gets to the making the video part, and that's the redundancy, where it's I've just edited this and I'm editing it again. It just is like, it feels like a slog. And so I'm going to upgrade my system, and I'm going to learn how to make videos more efficiently, aka learn new programs, make them look better and sound better. So believe me, NG1T, not only are videos coming back, but I'm working on some things. Been talking to people to commission some graphics and things like that. So yeah, we want to take this. We're going to hit over 200. We're shooting for 250 this year. So that's where we're going. Now, Tyler Perry, Oscar winner, says, we'll be watching your ball sack with great interest. That's my favorite line from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Anus. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
Infinite Wonder says, I believe that 40K has the potential to be the next Game of Thrones, but it would go down the exact same path as Game of Thrones, even quicker. Is there incest in 40K?
Well, I think that the thing what they'll do is, you know, the Space Marines are all men, and they're not going to be able to have that. So they're going to have both men and women, which kind of defeats the purpose of genetically engineered super soldiers. So, I mean, but you have the Sisters of Battle in 40K, but like I said, they're going to find a way of, you know, fucking it up essentially.
Yeah, I'm still working on, folks. For those out there wondering, we still are working on the stream with Arch Warhammer to do all that stuff. So now that the campaign's over, I have one more personal thing to take care of, and then we'll move and you'll see some things, the channel in a new way. Jay Rockstarsky says, I was watching some old Tex Avery cartoons the other day, and it was roasting Disney for making sissy stuff way back in the 50s. Dude, the Tex Avery show, which was obviously the old compilations of old cartoons, one that they would play in the late 90s on a Cartoon Network, or was it Turner Classic Movies? Long story short, the old Tex Avery show kicked ass, and I loved those cartoons. There's a rawness to those. You get those very much in the Roger Rabbit style, in those films. So I miss that stuff. Animation alternatives are rare these days. I guess everyone thinks animation's for kids, but it can be for everybody. Sir Ruin of House Roundhead, we haven't heard from him in a while. What's up? He says, may the 4th be with you. I wish they could have announced that Gina Carano was being rehired today. That would have been great news. I agree. It would have been awesome news. 007, but you know what, Sir Ruin of House Roundhead? We'll see. We won't see her. I don't know. We probably won't. But we'll probably see her do better anyway. Like you said, Tom, she'll do better out there because there's so many people, that want to see her succeed. So,
they don't give a shit about the politics. They really don't care, because most of the people in the world, or especially in America, anyway, when it comes to politics, they don't give a shit. They don't wake up and think about, gender equality, this, or is there enough black people in the show I watched last night? They don't think that fucking way. They don't really give a shit about
care.
any of this crap. They have more things to worry about, like how are my fucking kids gonna eat tonight because I haven't been working in the last year, shit like that. They really don't give a crap about whether or not the show they're watching is politically correct or not. At this point, they don't give two shits.
Only the crazy people on Twitter seem to care, but those are the ones who do the most damage, who intimidate the most, who do the most, things to make people afraid of them. Let's just put it that way. So
we're only 16 away, folks.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, we're only 16 away, folks. So we are getting close to the end of the show. This offer is for the next 3 hours. If we hit that goal, there we go. We got to hit that goal. We
Make
will.
sure to tweet it out, man.
Yeah, I'll tweet it out as soon as I get off air. Folks, do me a favor, tweet out the link, tell people the trading cards count. So I only need to move a couple more of those, and then everyone will unlock the Animagnet. Let me just show everyone what the Animagnet looks like. It's the same art that's featured on the trading card. So if you're really a big fan, you can get both. There you go. And that goes away in 3, 2, 1. I know.
It's funny
John 007 Cloud, thank you very much. He says John Walker is the real Captain America. He's about as valid as Bucky or Sam nowadays, so sure.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I have to watch this. I don't know.
Yeah. Dixon Cider says, if you're bored, check out Cornhub. Off the cob too, slathered in butter. It's a classic. Hominy.
Hominy. I love that.
That's great.
Oh, that was good.
That's for you. Actually, that was a damn good joke, Dixon Cider. Thank you. 007 Cloud says, Wakanda needs to be nuked. Well, it's a state of mind, so you can't hurt anyone with those opinions. Because it's not real. I want to nuke planet Vulcan. That's offensive. Why? It's fake. We read Amox. Thank you very much for backing Stealing Solo again. 007 Cloud says Henry Cavill is Spidey in the Sinister Six. For Anna, yeah. For me, no. He's Superman. You don't have Superman play Spider-Man. He's too buff. He's too
manly.
He's too manly. Well, yeah, he is.
That's the thing. I don't mind Tom Holland in the sense that, like, I see him as kind of a very similar as to Tobey Maguire. He's got that lanky, well, gee, Doc, kind of Michael J. Fox kind of thing about him. And that works for me because, like, every time somebody says, well, if you could recast the Avengers in the 80s and they did it then, who would you cast? My first go-to for Spider-Man is always Michael J. Fox. Like, if they made a movie back in the day, like, he would have been a perfect Spider-Man.
Yeah, I agree. Completely.
NG1T, thank you very much, sends in a super chat sticker that says, keep it up. Well, we will. Always. But thank you. Merlin's Id says, I used to work as a GE tech at the studio where they shot The Mandalorian. Later, I worked as a stage manager before losing my job due to COOF. Blessing in disguise, I'm now working with indies, and I'm psyched to write my pulp. Well, Merlin's ID, if you want to shoot us an email, worldclassbs@mail.com, when your pulp's ready, I'd love to check it out and tell people where they can find it. Because, again, we are all about people making their own independent art. Yeah, we can criticize movies and say we don't like it. People say, if you don't like it, do better. Guess what? We're making our own shit, so we're doing better. My version of Solo actually made money. Hashtag Solo made money, not hashtag Solo lost money. I saved that, so you're welcome. But Merlin's ID, I'm glad that you have it. You took it as a blessing in disguise. Maybe you got some cool stories. Hopefully you had fun on The Mandalorian, because we need to hear something positive to come out of that show. But thank you very, very much for your generous super chat. And like I said, shoot us an email. I'd love to check out your pulp. Infinite Wonder says, I wasn't talking about the Space Marines. I was talking about the Horus Heresy. That could be the next MCU, much less Game of Thrones. They'd still ruin it, though. I think big franchises are out of vogue. Just make solid movies. We've had too many stinkers. Oh, well, it's part of the franchise. Not an excuse. Mako Rex, thank you very much, says, I would have liked to see them build to a Maximum Carnage film with Spider-Man balancing his family responsibility with fighting Carnage alongside Venom. Mako Rex, I'm a 90s kid, and I would have loved to have seen that film. Maximum Carnage is a guilty pleasure. On one side, my comic book brain recognizes that it's not the greatest piece of Spider-Man literature, but my child brain goes, Spider-Man, Venom, Captain America, and all Cloak and Dagger. They kind of suck. But anyway, my point is it's a cool story with a great video game. And when I was in high school, I asked for the trade paperback for Christmas, and I treasure it. So Maximum Carnage holds a special place in my heart. Now, finally, our last super chat of the evening comes from our friend Daniel Bull, who says, was there any news regarding the Lego Skywalker saga? Last trailer was 8 months ago, and it's been delayed from spring, and it's been in production for 2+ years. Daniel, I'm pretty sure I heard in the last month that the game got delayed again. I feel like I've read about this recently. But yeah, that's the best of my knowledge. I feel like within the last month. That sounds pretty close. So, folks, we're going to call it a night for May the 4th. We have a nice 3-hour show. We're 14 backers away, says our friend Dixon Cider. So we gained 2 more. 3 more. Now we're 13 away. So shit, we are almost traffic there. So I'm going to drop the link right now. What are we, 13 away, I said. I'll change the number. Folks, let's make this happen. Like I said, I wanted everyone to get the entire set. It's weird not having it for everyone. So I kind of wanted to do something special and fun as a way to say thank you again, because you guys made Stealing Solo 2 a bigger success than the first campaign. Again, this is the Fandom Menace edition of the same story, but it was a huge success. And again, I want to thank everybody. Everybody who was on the stream Saturday. It was really an awesome night for the community. Fandom Menace, we rocked it, and it was a fun night. And Sunday was a really exciting day to wake up to that. It was really cool. So again, I want to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to make that happen. And thank you. Our buddy Cash Kester says, "I got you backed." If you know what I mean, I do know what you mean, Cash Kester. Excuse me for coughing, but thank you very much. Before we get going, comics. Where can we find you on the internet?
Oh, you can find me around places like Twitter and Minds, and I'm also on YouTube at Comics Division. And also, you should probably tweet out the link. That way, if there's people out there that appreciate indie comics, you should go and tweet out the link for Stealing Solo. That way, Jeff can go and hit his goal tonight. I think that would be great. I just tweeted it out myself, and I also threw it up on Minds.
Thank you very much. Dude, thanks for everything. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh, dude, it's always a pleasure. I don't think we've ever had a bad show. Chemical Traces, thank you very much for that. Mecha Random 42, where can we find you on the internet?
On my channel, Mecha Random 42, I have a merch shop. Use code SPRING for 10% off this week on my Teespring store. I have Twitter, Twitch, where else? I don't know. Everywhere. Here and there. Here. There, places.
Tom, where can we find you on the internet? Depends on what time of the day it is. I'm sure I'll have my own space at some point here where they'll just kind of like encapsulate me in some way. Like
You're pretty much going to just become like a man of the internet. You're just going to kind of download yourself into the digital binary form, the ones and zeros, and just kind of.
I'm going to be the internet, and you'll be like trying to shut down the stream. And I'll be like,
but is it a safe space, Tom?
It will be for me. I'll be like, I'm sorry, Jeff. I cannot do that.
Is it safe?
No.
Is it safe?
It's safe.
So, folks, you can find me here on World Class Bullshitters. Yes, NG1T. We will have new videos on their way. I miss those. And like I said, I am going to be upgrading the software here on the channel to upgrade the audio quality of these streams because it's the computer, but I'm going to be upgrading the video qualities as well. So, folks, I'm dropping the link one more time. The link is in the description as well as the chat. We are 13 away from the Animagnet, and we can make that happen. So I'm going to be checking the number around midnight, and I will tweet that out after the show, the link, and we will tweet out the image once we're victorious. So, folks, there you go. 3, 2, 1. Enjoy the Animagnet. And one more super chat rolled in from Super Nate. Thank you very much for your generous super chat. He says, "The Balzac is strong with my family. My father has it. I have it. My sister has it."
Oh, my goodness. Did you get the one from Cash Kester as well?
I did read the one from Cash Kester.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I got you backed, if you know what I'm saying, or if you know what I mean.
Okay,
Cash Kester, thank you very much as well. But yeah, Super Nate, if my sister, I don't need to know about my sister getting some ball sack.
No wonder she's growing a beard.
Yeah, it's a party. Oh, speaking of parties, over on Mindless Entertainment, Anna, that Star Wars girl, Jesse Milestone, and Jedi Bunny are about to have a Star Wars Day stream in just a minute. So you guys, I'm dropping the link right there. You can join them. It's live from our living room, so you can see where the High Council was broadcast from. So that link is right there in the chat. Jump over to there, say hey, tell them I sent you, show some love. It's going to be a hell of a stream because it always is. So from all of us here on the channel, from all of us here in the Fandom Menace, thank you for watching. But folks, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.